Good afternoon, welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex, field number 5. Continuation of the Houston Open 2026. Third match for the day in this, the second day's action officially. St. Louis Americans versus the Seattle Thunderbolts. Brilliant conditions for cricket. No rain that we had yesterday. There's rain forecast later in the week, but for today, this is a brilliant day. So under these great conditions, the St. Louis Americans have won the toss and have decided to bat. So they'll be opening the batting here. That man on your screen is Ian Desai. Left arm over the wicket, coming into bowl to the openers for the St. Louis Americans. Here we go. Initially or immediately dropping this one into the leg side for a couple of runs to get started. St. Louis Americans once again winning the toss. Under really good conditions. Leading off the batting with Sohan Bhatia and Leiro Milanta. Leiro Milanta, the left-handed batter, currently at the non-striker's end. He's a left-handed batter, and on strike, Sohan Bhatia is the man who immediately is off the mark here. Going down the leg side, this is going to be sprayed down the leg side for the first wide of the day. At least first wide of the match. As we say, good afternoon again to Manali Patel. Good afternoon, Manali.
Good afternoon, Brian. 2 teams in pink. How amazing is that? And you have decided to wear pink today as well.
It takes a real man, Manali Patel, to wear pink. And have a pink coffee mug.
I couldn't agree with you more. Played through the line, straight to the fielder.
That was hammered. That was actually struck very, very well. Excuse me. Fielder at short, at mid-off. I believe that's Rohan Posanipali. Has a different number from the one that he's advertised here, but we'll see him with the ball later on. But good start here with the ball for Ian Desai. Left arm quick. Seen a lot of left arm quicks in action so far today.
You know, trying to muscle this ball, no real timing. Just took a few minutes to get out and stretch my leg in between the 2 games. And just actually reflecting on the game that we've finished before this. Clarion Eagles taking on the Future Caps, and just thinking about how incredible that performance was from the youngsters. I know I've said it time and time again, there's a lot of depth in the country, there are a lot of juniors up and coming, but really was a phenomenal performance to put the likes of Clarion Eagles up high. Does it have the distance? It absolutely does. That's going to be the first maximum of the innings.
That was beautifully struck. And by the way, you don't want to get into any batter's pads normally, but from over the wicket to Sohan Bhatia, the ball was not threatening the stumps. It was going in, if anything, going down the leg side. So that becomes a free hit. Not free hit in the sense that it can't be dismissed, but it's a very high percentage shot. You're not going to do much with that other than get value for your shot. So you're wanting to be much more outside the line of off stump, excuse me, than that one was from Ian Desai.
Oh, that struck him. And he'll be very thankful that was a few inches higher.
Much better ball, that. Better length and certainly a better line. Struck him mid-riff, if you will. Taking a quick look at this again on replay on our end, and this is certainly a length that will cause trouble. So you do have the opportunity here to close the over out in a better fashion than the 5th ball went. Make that the 4th ball. Can't bowl there. Absolutely cannot bowl there.
This is an excellent shot. Actually backing away, creating that room to be able to play this through the offside. The line wasn't too bad. It's the room that he's been able to create to free those arms. This has run away for 4 runs.
Looking through that again, yes, the line wasn't horrible, but it did offer width. Anytime you have an opening batter, or a batter of any kind really, who's able to play shots without needing to worry about the ball hitting the stumps, then that creates the opportunity for you to score runs. So, 1 over in the books, 13 without loss.
This is my last level 1 tutor course. Pretty decent start. 13 runs coming off the first over. We've seen 1 maximum and 1 boundary already.
Lahir Malanta. Left-handed wicketkeeper batter.
He's been at the non-strikers end, enjoying all the action for that first over. Watchful to the spinner.
He never met an aggressive shot that he did not like, Lahir Malanta. You want to take advantage of the power play overs, but I would be looking for him to go big in an area over mid-wicket.
Oh my word, he's plucked that out of the air. What a catch this is. Lahir Malanta cannot fault that. He's gone for a duck, but it's taken an absolute stunner to send him back to the pavilion. That's going to be the first wicket.
I was saying I was expecting him to target that area over mid-wicket. This one goes a lot straighter. But mid-on, in play, iron the side, and look at this. Drags it from on off stump and stroked well, but look at that one-handed special. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the catch of the tournament so far. It may hold up as the catch of the entire tournament. Ian Desai, who opened the bowling, got punished for a few runs, 13 of them, but he absolutely makes up for it here. That, you've heard them say catches win matches. That is an example of a catch that very much, even in the 7th ball, make that the 7th legal delivery of this match, could have a huge part in deciding which team wins this match. Absolutely stunning stuff.
Wow, what a way to create an opportunity and to pick up the first wicket. This has got to be one of the best catches we've seen in a very long time. I think it's one of those catches you could also send into, what, did you have the top 10
Sports
plays?
Center. Sports Center.
Yes.
Yep.
Got to try and send them a link to this.
Oh my goodness, that was absolutely stunning. Stunning. Now, you've gotten rid of the lefty, Lahir Malanta, aggressive. Your price for getting rid of the lefty is the imposing figure of Joshua Trump, who has now made his way to the crease. Regardless of what you do or say, I want you to pay attention. If he gets a full ball outside the line of off stump, to give me your opinion on his elevated off drives over extra cover. Of all the shots that Joshua Trump has in his arsenal, that is the one that I look forward to the most every single time.
I really thought this would have gone over the fielder's head. He thought it would have traveled. It's going to be runs. just slowing down as it gets close to the rope. Off the mark with 2 runs, Joshua Trump.
Well, we're seeing that replay, just stunning stuff. Yes, he's left-handed. Yes, it is to his left, so that would have helped him secure that catch. But my goodness, you have to be able to take it. And I understand he's not a very tall man. So the fact that he's able to secure that in the way that he did, something that we'll be talking about for a while, certainly throughout the rest of this day.
Cut away in the gap. It's going to beat the fielders. That has bisected the 2 fielders perfectly for 4 runs.
Joshua Trump doing what Joshua Trump does. Not the worst of deliveries, but just a little bit of width. Maybe a 6th stump line. You want that ball to be a little bit closer to the stumps. And you don't need a very big flourish. Don't need a whole lot of trouble to get that ball in the air where Joshua Trump likes it. So that is his first boundary. 6 from 4, Joshua Trump. Sohan Bhatia, 12 from 6. The St. Louis Americans, a 19 for 1. Take a look at this again. Oh. Absolutely stunning.
Do they have an award for best fielder for the day? Catch of the tournament.
I'm literally about to respond to you. Thinking this is the mic.
For those of you who don't know, he's holding his water bottle.
I genuinely...
Too much width on that occasion, and that is going to be easy pickings. Make that 4 more. Eye on the side on the receiving end this time. First over went for plenty of runs as well. He wants to try and find his radar faster. At the moment, that is too wide, too short.
Just look where that width is. The ball is just inside the wide line. So that, to me, is just offering plenty of room. It's different if you're trying to bowl that line and then you have a fielder sweeping on the offside to cover or to be able to defend that. But that's just too wide with that field.
Clean as a whistle, down the ground, past the bowler, and it's back-to-back 4s. That is a very elegant shot. Sohan Bhatia hasn't really muscled this. He has just timed it. Knows where the gaps are, and he's able to pick them out at will at the moment.
Well, definitely knows where the gaps are. There's always going to be space down the ground. Can't set any fielders straight, obviously. So if you can get it that straight, that will always be a good scoring opportunity. There's something very dismissive about slamming a ball right past where a fast bowler just bowled it from. Shorter length expected here.
Thick outside edge. Well, luck sometimes will go your way, and it absolutely does this time. Sohan picks up 4 more. Doesn't matter what part of the bat it comes off of. It's 4 runs nonetheless.
3 on the trots. I expected shorter, but this is short and wide. And just that little bit of extra width is why that kissed off the outside edge, beats the despairing dive of the keeper and races away for 4. So Andesai took a real good catch, but his 9 deliveries bowled so far in this innings have gone for 27, make that 25 runs. So he'll want to be much more frugal than that.
Slight delay, just getting that ball back. Now I suspect after today, they will want to try and water this pitch. They didn't water it yesterday. It's been 2 hot days baking down on the surface. We have seen some cracks starting to appear this morning. I haven't really had another look since this morning.
You speak with intelligence about field or pitch preparation. It sounds to me as though you know way more about that than the average person who is either watching cricket or covering cricket as a journalist. Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, been around pitches for a while, I guess. I would assume people covering the sport would have a pretty good understanding of it as well. Extra bounce, and that is an awful way to get out after the flurry of boundaries that Sohan's been able to put around the park. Ayan will pick up a wicket to his name after an expensive over and a half. He gets the second wicket of the innings.
Extra bounce indeed, changing the angle, coming around the wicket, slanting it in towards Sohan Bhatia. And a little bit of an extra bounce, as you mentioned, and it kisses the top edge, easily collected by the wicketkeeper Rahul Jariwala. So he has been expensive. There's no doubt that he's been expensive, but he does take a wicket here, and you'll accept that all day if you get that chance. Second wicket down, 31 for 2.
Temperament. Talk about temperament. You've already struck 3 boundaries in the over. 12 runs have come off of it. Now that delivery is flying. It's hard to actually hit that away because it's so close to you. There isn't a lot of width on offer. And all you've done is you've managed to give a pretty easy catch to the keeper. It's very important to play the situation of a game.
My devil's advocate question.
Why do you have to do that?
You slash at that hard. It takes a top edge. You're in the power play, so it flies over the back of deep third and goes for 6. Do you still talk about temperament?
Well, remember, he's already 1 shot lucky.
I repeat my question. Oh no. A couple of runs here. That was kicked, if you will.
Put it this way, if he really wanted to attack that ball, that was not the right shot to do it. Maybe an uppercut might have been a better option. It's just too close to you to be cutting that away. Vertical bat, a little bit more difficult than more of a horizontal up and over. End of the third, 33 for 2. What do you make of that shot?
I have 0 issue with the shot.
Too close. Way too close to cut that.
That's a top edge, genuine top edge, but a touch more bat on that and it sails away and it goes for 4 or 6. You're in the power play, you're trying to take advantage of the power play overs. You're a naturally aggressive batter. I don't have an issue, especially if you have an opening bowler who has gone for 13 runs in his first over, already given up 12 in this over. You want to get on top of him. You want to drive him out of the attack. I honestly don't have a problem with the shot.
And I'm all for the aggression, but I think shot selection is very important.
Ah, Manala Patel, Manala Patel, Manala Patel.
I mean, had he gotten a little bit more of an edge on it? Into the leg side. It's not much more than a push, and it's gone a lot farther than I thought it would, actually. This outfield has just started to quicken up as this day has progressed.
I completely agree with that analysis. Krish Katre into the attack. Left arm, quick appeal.
It's a very optimistic appeal, isn't it?
Not only is it an optimistic appeal, I don't know that he even meant the appeal.
If it strikes the pads, you got to ask the question in his mind. Apparently, that's
Left arm over the wicket. To take another look at this again, but to me, no, I will say this. I'm looking at the action live because I find it very hard to follow the game appropriately if I'm watching it on a screen. So we're a little bit square of the wicket here. So I didn't see the line of the ball, but just the way that umpire Owen Brown reacted tells me, why are you even appealing for that?
2 straight again, and again he appeals for this. This is well and truly outside that leg stump.
Well, that's the first thing you have to consider as an umpire, isn't it?
That's 2 leg byes in a row.
2 consecutive leg byes. Let's see where this is now. Oh my goodness. Not only is that's the first one, pitching outside the line of leg stump and swinging down. So, apart from that, good appeal.
What?
It's like, apart from that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? One of those. Oh goodness. I was given okay, so the first.
It's 2 leg byes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
2 very similar deliveries.
Solid in defense, Joshua Trump, twin brother of Matthew Trump. You have seen and will see the Trump brothers on cricket fields and on your TV screens for a very long time. Both very young men. Twins just turned 21 less than 2 months ago. Don't ask me exactly when, but very recently. Joshua Trump, top order batter and wicketkeeper batter. Matthew Trump, middle order batter and very much an all-rounder, medium pacer, medium to medium quick. And they both have high degrees of specialty, like that shot would indicate.
Flicked again, 2 straight, and this time gets it all the way for 6. Just want to see how close this was to the fielder in the deep. Great piece of timing, though.
Oh, that shows you the importance of line. If it's not threatening the stumps, then the batter can be much more aggressive. And this was not threatening the stumps. It was going to, in fact, the pitch outside the line of off stump and again swinging down. That is meat and drinks for somebody like Joshua Trump.
He didn't appeal on it.
Well, yeah. That one he's not going to appeal if it's sailing over the top of Rohan Pastanapali at deep backward square leg.
Good cricket this. Picked up the maximum, rotated to pick up the single. Also means Joshua Trump is going to keep strike. 4 overs gone, 44 for 2. Going at 11 runs an over, still have 2 more overs to come in the power play. It's a pretty decent start despite the 2 overs or the 2 wickets lost.
Monali, we are, yes, here in the Purview area, covering a tournament that is being played in the U.S., and the U.S. have a women's team. That women's team is currently in Uganda. One of the members of that team has just sent across greetings. Wonderful all-rounder and probably a better person than she is a cricketer, and she's a good enough cricketer to currently be playing for the U.S. in Uganda. Giovanna Aras. Giovanna, such a pleasure to hear from you. And both Manali and I say hello, and I'm pretty sure Manali wants you to win the next game.
I do. If you're listening, let's do it. Good hearing from you, though.
So as far as this game is concerned, a couple of top order wickets, but Joshua Trump and Arnav Jam are both excellent players. You would think that they have the wherewithal, or certainly the discipline, to mix caution with aggression.
Leg side should be just the 1 run. I didn't ask you this question before the game started. However, third game of the day, what do you reckon is going to be par score?
$147.
Very exact. And an odd number.
I deal in specifics in my day job, so I carry that to cricket also.
Coach. There have been some player coaches over the years.
Yep. Oh, that's Chaitanya Bishnoi.
It is.
Yes, it is. I just realized that. Left arm orthodox, left arm power hitter.
Thick outside edge. Fielder getting under it and make that wicket number 3. Chaitanya Bishnoi is going to pick up the 3rd wicket of the innings.
Catch taken by Shashwat Kohli. Oh my goodness, that's a big one. Because you've just broken the back of what is starting to be a pretty decent partnership. Chaitanya Bishnoi tossing that one up, and Arnav Jam could not resist the big heave. The problem there is that he's looking to play to the leg side, and with the left arm orthodox, the ball is turning away from him into the offside. Put those two together, it's always a chance that that ball will be popped up in the air exactly like that one was. So you'll be disappointed with that, Arnav Jam, but has it to do again. You'll probably want to be playing with the turn instead of across that ball. Big wicket there, 45 for 3. 3 deliveries, make that 5 deliveries into over number 5. In fact, that last ball was the last ball of the over, I believe. The scoreboard still says, well, in fact, we do still have 1 ball remaining. So Chaitanya Bishnoi directing traffic. New batter in is Sujit Nayak, joining Joshua Trump at the wicket. Joshua Trump looking really good so far, 17 from 10. Sujit Nayak about to take first strike.
147, you said, right?
147 exactly.
I'm going to say about let's say 155.
So just let's make sure that we understand that's not you predicting the first inning score. That's you saying what you think the first inning score should be, all conditions considered.
Par score.
I don't disagree with you. Somewhere between 147 155, that probably is a decent range. Successful first over for Chaitanya Bishnoi. 1 for 2. Make that, 1 for 2 in that over. Score there now 46 for 3.
That was an incredible catch. First wicket Lahiri Milantha thought he had enough, just not being able to get it over the bowler's head. And Joshua Trump being able to pierce the gap really well. Along with Sohan, who was batting very well, Sohan Bhatia, until this moment right here. Flashing at a delivery that was short and maybe a little too close. Really good shot down the leg side by Joshua Trump. And this was the last wicket to fall. Arnav Jam. Thick outside edge. And the first wicket for Chaitanya Bishnoi. Soeb Tai back into the attack.
Well, Soeb Tai, good first over. 6 runs coming from it, and he took a wicket. Coming back to bowl the last over of the power play. Actually scoring at a decent rate, St. Louis. You were showing me off camera the forecast for the rest of this week. Saturday is a bit of a concern. Maybe. Oh, Joshua Trump going big in this direction again for another 6. Well, I've been asking for the shot that I want to see from him, that extra cover drive, but none of them are better than this slog sweep from outside the line of off stump, and he helps himself to 6 more.
It's also the placement. He knew there was a fielder there. He had to get it wide of the fielder. Gets well in front of it to be able to direct it further back. .23 off 12, Joshua Trump. Oh no, this should have been taken. Yes, it was drilled back, but Joshua Trump would have been walking back had that been held on to. He's grimacing. As long as it's not the thumb. The thumb's always horrible to get hit on.
Yep. It hurts a little bit less when you catch it. But this hits. Why are you laughing? It's true.
I'm laughing because it is true. The adrenaline carries you through the pain.
Yes, it does. How many fingers have you broken playing cricket over the years as you see this replay again?
Smashed back. Just high up on the
heel of his palm.
I actually haven't broken any digits, but I have sprained them.
Over the years, I've broken no fewer than 5 of my fingers playing cricket.
Sometimes I thought they were broken, but the x-ray said, no, you just hurt them. It's almost insulting, isn't it? For the amount of pain that you're in. You're like, are you sure it's not broken?
There are some sprains that are as bad as, if not worse, than breaks.
Yep.
The worst injury I've ever had in the middle of a cricket match. As I look at this replay again, well, he had a lot of time, didn't he? Well, of course, easy to say that in slow motion replay, but he seemed to be in the position to take the catch. I'll at least say that. And there he's signaling, yes, that did come off the palm of my hand. Yes, here's what I should have done. Just like when you're batting, the second shot is always better than the first. Well, is that the same thing here? As I was saying, the worst injury I've ever had playing is that the ball was played on the infield. I was fielding at mid-wicket, ran over toward it to field it, and I did the one thing that I always criticize fielders for doing. Used my foot instead of my hand, stepped on the ball, rolled my ankle, and broke it. I cannot express to you how much pain that caused.
That sounds awful, but also
predictable.
No, comical. I'm sure if I would have seen it.
How is that comical? Exactly. How is that comical?
Because the idea is to go beside the ball, not on the ball.
I don't want you for a coach anymore. I was thinking of coming back, trying out for the Masters, and thinking of hiring you as my coach. That story is done.
What? Do you think as your coach I'd have said step on the ball?
No, if I get hurt playing, you'd be laughing at me. That's why.
Or if it's funny.
Oh my
I am one of
goodness.
those people who laughs at people when they fall or trip or get hurt. It's just comical, isn't it?
It actually is not.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
Jeez. So, Joshua Trump, 24 from 13.
Oh, he's picked this up really well. No, he has not. How good is that catch on the boundary? The awareness with that rope right behind him. This is exceptionally well taken. It looked like it was going to travel well over the boundary. Not to be. That's going to be wicket number 4.
Off the bat, I will say that 2 things. Number 1, I thought it was absolutely 6. Number 2, with the wind coming from the south, I really did think that was going to be 6. I thought it would be in the next field over. But my goodness, what a really well-judged catch this one is. Stays in the air for a while. Joshua Trump dragging it from well outside the line of off stump. Easy to second guess. Oh, look at that work. Excellently done. It's easy to second guess, but you wonder if he had gone straight instead of having dragged it to the leg side, whether or not he would have gotten more out of that shot than he actually did. Again, it's really easy to second guess after the fact, but he does drag this from about a 5th stump line. And that catch is taken in the deep by Mayura Lakshmikant. Excellent work by Mayura, judging it well, and had to find himself relative to where the rope was. Look at that. Just really excellent work from him, because obviously if you step on the rope, not only is it not a dismissal, it's a 6.
See, he did step on the rope. He stepped beside the rope. That's exactly what I was trying to explain to you with that ball story that you told me. Don't step on the ball. That's actually ball tampering. As we take another look at this catch, very well judged catch in the deep. Actually, my husband broke his foot in a similar, or his leg in a similar fashion. He wasn't stepping on the ball.
Did you laugh at him?
No.
Thank you.
Well, I didn't see it though, so I probably would have. I don't know. But this was actually in Florida at Fort Lauderdale. He was running. This is a U.S.-Canada game, running around, and there was a divot in the ground. And he actually, as he fell, he heard the snap.
Oh my goodness. I shudder every time I'm going across a field like this and you see like maybe the indentation where there's like a sprinkler head.
Yep.
I always shudder when I see that, because that is an injury waiting to happen.
Bowled him right through the gate. It's the top of the stumps. It's 2 wickets in the over for Aryan. What a start to his spell. Wicket number 5 bites the dust.
Oh my goodness. So Yuvan is the batter. He came and then he went, stuck around for all of 2 deliveries, and that is the end of him. So Yuvan Vinod not able to get anything going, and unfortunately for the St. Louis Americans, having chosen to bat first, half of their side is back in the hutch, and you're just 4 deliveries outside of the power play. There's a lot going on here when I let Patel, but my goodness, this feels like a very one-sided game so far.
Ronak Sharma, the new man out in the middle. Got a lot of rebuilding to do here. St. Louis Americans winning the toss and choosing to have a bat first. And I don't think these wickets could be credited to the conditions. This is just really good bowling and some poor batting.
You are a hard taskmaster. I'm not quite ready to say poor batting just yet. What I am ready to say is that maybe 1 or 2 injudicious shots, but really has to be said, good bowling. You look like you disagree with me.
I'll let it pass.
Let it go through to the keeper.
I'll be the bigger man.
Wait, I thought, let me stop.
Figure of speech. One delivery to come in the over. 2 wickets, 2 runs so far. Some confusion with the fielders. Oh, we're not even halfway through this game, and half of the batters back in the pavilion. Flight. I like seeing that with spinners. And a well bowled delivery for a dot to finish the over. 7 overs gone, it's 57 for 5. Into the leg side. Should be a single. Sobtai coming in for his 3rd over.
Are you a big movie watcher, Manala Patel?
Yes, but mostly kids' movies at the moment.
Sure.
Actually, no, I'm really not a big movie watcher at all. Which movie are you asking me about? I don't have time to watch movies. I'm a busy person, you know? Dragged down on that occasion. I'm surprised.
If I gave you a recommendation for a horror movie, you wouldn't even watch it, so
no.
I won't even bother bringing it up.
Absolutely not.
But let's combine movies with crickets.
Which movie were you thinking of, though, anyway?
I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to give you nightmares.
Oh, no, I'm not going to watch it anyway, but I just want to know. In the gap. And another single.
Okay, when you have time, go just look for the reviews for a movie called Case 39.
Okay.
Just the preview alone. Just watch the preview.
Oh no, I won't be.
Anyway, about this. Movies as it relates to cricket. Have you seen Fire in Babylon?
You know what? You're going to hate me for this.
You know what? I quit. I'm not going to work.
So the number of times that we've had this conversation at home, and my husband said to me, "You've got to watch it," and I'm like, "I do."
I
just don't have time.
I'm insulted. This very second, I'm insulted.
I just don't have time. That's all it is.
It has nothing to do with time.
Okay. But I have watched the bobsled movie with the Jamaican team.
First of all, that I will never in 100 years watch that.
Why? It's a Jamaican bobsled team.
It is not a Jamaican bobsled team. It is American actors who are trying to sound like Jamaicans. And a Jamaican can take, "Hey man," only so long. If you say it to me in passing, I'll laugh and we'll keep walking. If I have to hear it for 90 minutes, never in 100 years would I do anything other than stab myself in the ear with a toothpick or maybe even an ice pick.
Excellent over. Just 3 runs coming off of it. 8 overs gone. 60 for 5. What is it supposed to be? Yaman.
Oh, jeez.
No?
I mean, it doesn't sound like that what we say. But y'all think that you're saying it the way that we say it.
Try me. You
No.
say it. Say it.
No, Yaman. Yaman.
Yaman.
No. It loses something in the translation. It just does. But I can accept it if it's going, here and there.
There's a catch that we've been talking about. And this is that
Wickets.
second wicket.
Yep. That's the one you had a problem with the shot on.
And the third Arnav Jam looking to go down the ground, just never really got the middle of the bat. And Joshua Trump next to go, trying to go down the ground and finds a safe pair of hands of Myra Lakshmi Kanth. And the last wicket, again, most of them have been catches, haven't they? Last wicket was
In fact, every single one
Yuvan
has been a
Vinod.
catch.
Yuvan Vinod, the last one to be bowled. But mostly all of them have been catches. So the catching's been good.
Shot selection, not quite so much.
Leg side, it's going to be a wide. Generally very tidy in the bowling front. The Seattle Thunderbolts. I tell you what, I will watch that movie when I get time.
What a
I really don't.
That's an insulting thing to say. Well, you know what? If I feel like I want to have the time to do it, I'll get around to seeing it eventually.
No, you really don't understand. I've got 2 little kids. I am working like at least 3 different projects at a time.
See the expression on my face?
No, but I am looking at that shot. 1 run. And then cricket. I mean, there's a lot of cricket work throughout the day, so it's hard to get time.
Find Fire in Babylon and watch it. It's a 90-minute movie. Watch it for 10 minutes a night for 9 nights. It is not hard to find time if you want to watch it.
Is it a book?
No,
Down the
there's no
ground.
book.
Is it going to be taken? Oh, I don't know why he was inside the rope by that much.
Not only was he inside the rope, I believe that's Chaitanya Bishnoi down there, but he came sprinting in, which to me says that it is badly misjudged. Look how he comes running in on this, off the back foot. He's coming in. Why in the world are you coming in when the ball is going to be over your head? So that's a catch that, for me, even though he's not a very tall man, Chaitanya Bishnoi probably takes that head height if he is back on the ropes where you expected that he would have been.
I think that's going to be a drop catch in my books, if I'm being honest. Misjudged. Not sure why he's that far in. It's also one of my issues with the concept of walking in with the bowler.
I don't disagree with you, but once you've walked in, if you're on the boundary, I would start walking in from outside the rope so that the second that the bowler releases...
Down the ground. Does it have the legs to get over the rope? Oh dear, this has actually gone over and out of the ground. 6 runs to finish the over. An expensive over comes to an end.
Take a look at this. So regardless of whether or not he was back on the ropes, Chaitanya Bishnoi, that one is sailing over his head all the way for 6. What I started saying was, if you're walking in, yes, I like the idea of walking in, but if you're on the boundary, if you're a boundary rider, you should start that walking in out of the boundary rope, such that at the point where the bowler releases the ball is the point where you've made contact with the inside of the ropes, so that you're still back on the ropes or back on the boundary. Now, that's a separate issue from having misjudged it. And the previous shot that went for 6 clearly was a misjudgment, because he actually, after the shot was played, came running in. To me, that's just not judging it appropriately. Now, some of that is because the wind is coming from the south, and so the ball would have been carrying. There's replay again. Take a look at this. That's the second of the 2 6s, but on that 6, the first 6, the ball would have been carried in that direction by the wind. So if you wanted to soften the blow to the criticism of Chaitanya Bishnoi, the softening of the blow would be that some of that was due to the wind pushing the ball in that direction. But really, I think that one easily should have been taken.
to have this debate with one of the tutors I facilitate with coaching courses, where he's a big fan of the idea of walking in.
Mm-hmm.
I am not.
Okay.
And my logic to that is the idea at the point of delivery is to be stable and in a power position. I'm still okay, if you need to take 1-2 steps to get into that power position, but what's the point of this whole walk in and finding yourself off the wrong foot? Just take your 1-2 steps, get in the right position, get in that power position, and that allows you to be able to react to the ball instead of having a situation like we just saw with Bishnoi on the boundary, where he's 6 feet, 7 feet inside the rope. Also, I don't know, I'm sure you watch baseball, yeah?
It is so interesting. First of all, I don't watch it as a practice, but I do have a very strong connection with the city of Houston. And so the Houston Astros have always been my favorite baseball team. And if I were a big baseball watcher, that would have been my team. But yes, it's interesting that you said baseball. I was thinking the same thing. Shortstop doesn't come walking in. Third base doesn't come walking in. Neither do the outfielders. For me, I'll meet you halfway. I think the fielders closer to the bat are better off being still. So, for example, you don't see slip or gully walking in. Now, the fielders in the outfield, I think being able to get a little bit of movement going, that allows you to sort of prepare for where the ball may be. I don't have a very strong argument for it, but it feels like it's more natural to the outfielders than for the infielders for me.
But that's why I'm saying there is, if you want to be in that reactive position, what's better than to be in that power position? I think it also comes down to strength. How good is that base? 10 overs gone, 79 for 5. Baseball, no one walks in. They work on agility, they work on reaction, and arguably probably one of the best fielding that we see in sports in baseball. I really think it's time cricket starts to update the way we coach fielding. I know we are now starting to integrate a lot of the baseball style of coaching into cricket. Still got a long way to go though, especially in the throwing department, because you see how they throw in baseball, and it's just the speed at which that they're able to throw is phenomenal. You know what? I was actually talking to one of the coaches who's also a master coach developer with Coaches Canada. Works very closely with the Blue Jays in Toronto, and he was talking to me about how the recruiting process works. And in your teens, if you're not able to get flat throws in flat over a long distance, then you're not even considered. Whereas what do we teach in cricket? Nice big loopy rainbows from the boundary. Well, why? That wastes time. And again, it all comes down to that mindset, that attacking mindset. We've seen the game change a lot in the last 10 years, don't get me wrong. We have.
Yes.
There's still a long way to go, and that's where sports science and that's where integrating other sports strengths comes into it. Adjusted well, looking to come down the track. Ronak saw that it was wide, wasn't going to make the pitch of the ball. These are things that I find a bit fascinating about the sport, So much you can learn and add. That's a wide.
This is a different version of the question I asked you yesterday about what you would improve or change about cricket. What skill set from other sports, any other sport, do you think should be more integrated into cricket?
We just spoke about baseball. Down the ground, straight down the ground, and straight over the sight screen. That's going to be 6 runs.
That's a huge shot.
It's a very good thing our cameraman was not dead straight.
Well, let's do the math on that. 62 yards straight, plus 22 from the boundary for the length of the pitch, so that's 84.
That's Mohsen up there.
That is Mohsen up there. Mohsen is 9'6", so that's over his head. So that's another. I'm gonna say that's a 130-yard hit. Okay, maybe not that much.
Hey Mohsen, how's it going? Glad you're safe up there. I hope you've got insurance.
Now, Mohsen should have caught that. I will say that. Mohsen is a good cricketer. He should have caught that.
Listen, he's got a new baby at home, okay? He's got to be careful.
Solid point. Solid point. We'll allow it. That's a clean strike, though. And so this partnership is actually developing in a way that would make you think that the par score that you had said, 155, may be closer to the reality, excuse me, than the one that I said, 147.
And just going back to your questions, I believe a lot of parts of baseball can be integrated into cricket, especially from a fielding perspective. So the pickups, the throws, the way you're able to turn, the agility side of baseball can absolutely be brought into cricket. Now, there are a lot of there's a lot of research that has recently been implemented into how sports, especially sports that require hand-eye coordination, are being trained, and it all comes down to eyesight. So now a lot of sports are starting to integrate training the eyes and being able to strengthen the way your eyes track the ball. And so that's not necessarily a sport that you're bringing into the sport, but it is a strengthening area that a lot of players, whether it's tennis, whether it's baseball, a lot of hand-eye coordination sports are now bringing that in. A lot of tennis players actually do it before their big games as well.
Very interesting. I certainly think that there's plenty of room for cricket to learn from baseball. I think I agree with you regarding the outfielders. The days of the long boundary are pretty much done and dusted.
Yeah.
If you, for example, have a runner on second in baseball and the ball is hit to, let's say, left field, and this is a huge hit, yet another one. This is straight over the center field wall for a grand slam.
It's really hard to characterize Aryan's bowling in this game because it's his third over done. 33 runs. Yes, he's picked up 2 wickets, but he's also bled a lot of runs.
The analogy that I started making just now, well, really not an analogy, it's a comparison. Runner on second, the ball is hit into hit to left center field. The runner at second is sprinting around third on the way home. The center fielder or the left fielder is charging in, and they run in, scoop with the glove. Yes, they're using a glove, but it's a one motion, pick up, transfer, and gun to the plate. There is a lot about that skill set that can translate directly to cricket.
Is it Aryan or Aryan?
No, 2 different people.
Aryan.
The spinner is Aryan Parvatkar. Fast bowler, Ayan Desai. See a bit of the action there. It takes a big shot to clear that side screen, and on top of the side screen is Mohsen. I will tell you that some of these lusty blows that you see here are very, very impressive. 11 overs in the books, and this so far is the largest partnership in the innings. 94 for 5 is where you are. New bowler coming in now, Mayura Lakshmikant.
Sorry, I think we interrupted you with the point that you were trying to make.
I had actually finished the point. I was saying that there is much in the skill set of a center fielder, an outfielder in baseball, charging the ball to pick up and make a play at the plate. It's the same type of mentality that you could potentially see somebody from mid-wicket sprinting in, trying to prevent the players running back for that second run.
Well, I can definitely tell you, I've not seen a baseball player make a long barrier.
That doesn't translate to baseball.
Well,
No.
just can you imagine? I mean, your coach would
No, I
your
couldn't.
coach would just look at you and say, "What do
What
you
are
think you're doing?
Exactly.
They've just run to second base on what should have been 2 runouts."
Yep.
Just past the bowler for another single.
So Mayur Lakshmikant saw him take that really good catch down on the boundary earlier. A big catch to dismiss Joshua Trump. Now being asked to maybe try to break this partnership that is now worth 41. Pair came together when the score was 56 for 5. Got up now to 97 for 5. Of the two, you could probably argue that Ronak Sharma is the one who looks a little bit more dangerous. Bit of a delay.
It's a good recovery, though, isn't it?
Oh, my
Having
goodness,
lost
yes.
5 wickets, quick succession, that too. From 56 for 5 to 97 for 5. A good partnership between these two.
Lovely shot.
I think that's about the 3rd time we've seen this shot today.
Oh.
Between all of our 3 games. Just played so well. Opening the face of the bat. No real power into it. Just using the pace off the delivery to place it for 4.
100 coming up with that shot now. 101 for 5. Partnership worth 45. This is really brilliant stuff. And there is a very good balance between caution and aggression in this partnership. You're not going, all guns blazing, but you're also allowing yourself to put away the bad balls when they present themselves. And this approach here is exactly what you want to see. Good ball, the ball that is there, you respect it, defend it. Yes, you're looking for potential to get a single if it presents itself. But a simple process. Respect the good balls, put away the bad ones.
Respect the good balls, put away the bad ones.
Yes.
In T20 cricket.
Oh, in this instance, yes. Or as the great Shivnarine Chanderpaul said,
Let's hear it.
if it look good, block it. If it bad, kill it.
Well, the problem is T20 cricket's really changed that, and good balls are still balls you're going to try and figure out a way to score runs off of it.
I don't disagree with that at all. Just in the context of where you've lost the entire middle order for very few runs, there has to be a rebuilding period. This is let's call it the consolidation phase, if you will.
And this kind of takes me back to our conversation where we were talking about playing the situation.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you got to play the situation, but when we're talking about how we prepare our players off the field to be effective on the field, and I said you got to give them match scenarios, you got to give them constraints.
Yes, absolutely.
This is where that training comes in. Yes, good bowlers are more consistent than they are not consistent. That does not allow you to see off all the good bowlers. You've got to find a way to score runs. And you can only do that if you've done that in practice. And this is the thing that T20 cricket has completely changed about cricket, the innovation of shots. Well done, director.
My eyes. Appreciate that, Hassan. Thank you. He thought he was changing his gloves. Oh, goodness. Well, I will say this. The one thing that I think cricket on a whole in this country can improve on as Ayan Desai gets back into the attack is that we can acknowledge the fact that not everybody always wants to see your undergarments as you change, because that happens in cricket in this country way more than we're comfortable with. You're in a public park. There's people walking around. Hey, it's a nice, cool sport. What is this? Oh, let's see what they're. Oh no! You know what? Let's just keep walking.
I don't know if I should say anything.
That has always been the one thing that has bothered me about cricket in this country, and it's.
Can I say it depends?
Always.
I mean, it depends on the who.
So anyway, back to the match that we're talking about here. 102 for 5 is where you are with one delivery in. Back to the match, Manala Patel. We're very interestingly poised here, so to speak.
Interesting point in the game.
Wide down the leg side. Not a whole lot of wides so far. Just 5 extras, 4 of them being wides, and 1 leg by.
Just sense that something's got to give here. For St. Louis Americans. They're going well, but the Thunderbolts, they've got to find a wicket here, because if this partnership continues to build, we're going to see something very similar like what we saw in game number 1, that partnership between Milind Kumar and Smith Patel.
That is a very high bar, but the rescue mission feels very similar.
Oh dear, that's got to be no ball. I don't think that's landed on the pitch. Oh no, it's a wide.
Given as a wide, let's take a look at this again on the replay. But yeah, this is very, very wide. And then of course they ran the extra run. So let's take a look and see where this ball pitches.
Okay, it's on the pitch, and then it's just continued on.
Yeah, so where it pitches is the deciding factor, but it certainly is wide, well wide. Whether it be a lefty or righty, he was well. That one was well out there. Interesting. He went short, and Desai, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a major leaguer. I think he was with MI New York. I may stand to be corrected on that if somebody can get in my ear, as they say, and correct me if that's not true, but I believe that that's accurate. He's a good young pace bowler, though. You like seeing that. But the disciplines do have to be right.
That's a poor delivery, and that's been punished for 4.
It's been punished for 4. More importantly, as it goes for 4, the partnership now worth 55. This pair is really, really pulling their team out of a tricky position. And with that type of a delivery, if it's short, you want it to be up around the shoulder blades, around the head, around the neck. But that short ball that gets up to waist height or stomach height, that's not going to trouble any top order batter.
9 runs off the over already.
Real-time correction. The great Giovanna Aras, who we're just talking about her. He's with the Orcas and Desai. Thank you, Giovanna. And by the way, if you want to pass on any other comments, please feel free. What time is it right now in Uganda, by the way? Why are you up? Should you not be asleep right now?
Yeah, it should be pretty late at night. Well, about 8 hours, 9 hours ahead, I would assume.
Of course, We could just Google what time is it in Uganda right now, but that would take too much work. A dot. It closes things out in over. Number 13, 112 for 5. Bless you. There's no way it can take that long to Google what time is it in Uganda.
Working. Again, multitasking.
Giovanna says it is 1 a.m. and they fly to Rwanda tomorrow. Giovanna, really proud of you, proud of the entire team. You keep doing what you're doing. Yes, you're up against a very strong opponent. That first official game didn't go the way you would have wanted it to, but I have full confidence that you and the rest of the ladies will find a way to have a different result on the field.
I will say this, though, as a Canadian, we're also preparing to play against you girls, you know, in a few months' time.
You girls, really, just call me a girl.
Not you. I'm talking to Giovanna Aris.
Oh, okay. What to say?
So, you know, don't train too hard. Take it a little easy on the field. Always loved that rivalry, though. Played the U.S. on multiple occasions over the years.
I think it should be mandatory that whether an official game or just, let's call it friendly, those two teams need to play each other, men and women, no fewer than 3 or 4 series a year.
Oh, no. We don't have the time for that. Women maybe, but the men definitely don't have time for that. Between the Cricket World Cup League 2 setup, the qualifiers that come every other year, the T20 World Cup, and with the League 2 games, you also often follow it up with a T20 series. There is not that much time left in the year. Not to forget that a lot of associate players now are featuring in plenty of franchise tournaments around the world.
That felt like a very long moonwalk is what that felt like.
What I just said?
You know what a moonwalk is? You don't know what a
That?
Yes.
Yes, I do know
That's
what a moonwalk.
all of that is a moonwalk because you don't want to get smoked by the red, white, and blue is what that feels
No,
like.
no, not at all. This is legitimately a scheduling issue. And if you look at the schedule of the men's teams at the moment, apart from your national duty tours, you then also have your home franchise. So you guys have the MLC, we will have the GT20, we'll have Canada Super 60, and then on top of that, you also have all of your players playing in franchise leagues. And to me, I think that is a much better way to build cricket than to keep playing the same opposition 3 to 4 times a year. You want the exposure, you want to play different competitions to be more well-rounded.
I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but I think it's also fair to say that there are way many other places in the US that are conducive to cricket than you'd find in Canada. You can play cricket here 10 months out of the year. You can play cricket in LA 12 months out of the year. Florida, maybe 10 months, skip the rainy season.
It's also about competition, though, right? So you don't want to play the same competition over and over again. 14 overs gone, 118 for 5. So I'm all for playing the North America Cup once a year. They started that last year. This year, actually, I believe it's the US that said there's no budget for it. The North America Cup was great because the US played Canada, played Bermuda, I believe Cayman Islands was in there, and Bahamas, if I'm not wrong. So now you've got your main America's side, North American sides, playing each other at least once a year. That obviously doesn't include the global qualifiers, or the regional qualifiers, I should say. So next year we go into regional qualifiers. The US not making the Super 8 in this last World Cup is going to be back in that qualifying cycle. So we're still playing each other often enough, in my opinion.
In terms of qualifiers, I think it's easy to just stipulate that the US is the better team and then just have them go through.
I don't know if I'm going to say that.
Feels like that would just be the thing to do.
I don't know if I'm going to say that. Then that just negates the purpose of the qualifier.
Right. So then here's what we do. We stipulate, okay, we are actually the ones going through. Now let's play some friendlies. Let's have that.
I can't wait for Canada to beat the US next year. Just to prove a point.
So,
But I would agree with you, actually. At the moment, when you look at the talent pool and you look at the records over time, statistically speaking, I would say you're the stronger side, whether it's men or women.
I'm going to interrupt this US v Canada conversation to go back to Miss Giovanna RS. My roommate Ritu Singh showed up and says hello.
Hello, Ritu Singh.
Ritu Singh, going back to when I talked earlier about my son playing on the same team as Arnav Jam. Arnav Jam, Ritu Singh, and Jaden Walters all played on the same team in 2015.
So I commentated at the LA qualifiers, and I remember she was chasing a ball down. I think this was either long off or long on. And Ritu, if you're listening to this, you might remember this. You tripped while chasing that ball down, and then you did a tuck and roll, and you were straight back up on your feet and into that sprint to chase that ball down. And you actually did chase it down.
I don't know if you know this officially. Ritu is an accomplished, and I'm not just saying this because she might be listening now, an accomplished 3-sport star. High-level gymnast, supreme softball player.
That's picked up. That is picked up. Does it have the legs? Yes, it does. It's going to go all the way for 6 runs.
Oh my goodness. So back to the Ritu Singh Love Fest. High-level gymnast, high-level softball player, and a brutal striker of the cricket ball, in addition to being a really good off spinner.
Yeah, I have seen that, heard that, and that's my point. When she actually tripped, she brought the gymnastics out.
Yep.
And then continued on to bring the cricket out back again. And this is what I was saying earlier, isn't it? It's so important to make our athletes multi-dimensional, and that only happens if they're multi-sport athletes. You pick up so many skills and strengths that you can then bring into cricket.
You are 100% correct. Now, having said all of that, let's get back to this game here. All of a sudden,
155 is on the cards.
155 is more than on the cards. The current run rate is 8.79, and that projects to a score of 176. A few highlights here. This is some brutal striking by Sujit Nayak. Anak Sharma at the other end cannot take a back seat, or won't take a back seat to him either. This is just really great ball striking, isn't it?
And it's all around the park. That's what's been so incredible to watch. It also then begs the question, had that catch been taken in the deep by Chaitanya Bishnoi, that would have changed this game for sure.
Because you don't know how much batting is left behind. Somebody else who was also in that same tournament that I talked about, where my son Ritu Singh and Arnav Jam played in the same team. Joshua Kind played in that same tournament. I would imagine Joshua Kind will be one of the ones coming in next, probably the next one in. But this partnership, in order for the Seattle Thunderbolts to get back into this game, this partnership has to be broken.
Leg side. It has sat up nicely, but he hasn't got the distance on this. This is a well-judged catch in the deep, and they needed this breakthrough so desperately. It's the Seattle Thunderbolts who have now picked up the 6th wicket and broken a very important partnership.
They did need to break that partnership. Partnership worth 70. That catch in the deep, I believe that is Rohan Pasanapali. The shirt number doesn't match our score sheet, but I believe that that's him. But it's a good, well-judged catch. Ball was sinking on him, but he did manage to judge it well enough to make sure that he gets those hands underneath it. So that's a big wicket. 126 for 7. Make that 6 now. And when you get a big partnership like that, 70 runs is what it was worth. You'll be disappointed when it was broken. But at the same time, you know that you've essentially pulled your team out of a difficult spot. And from here, it is important for Ronak Sharma to go on and keep batting.
Thank you.
And the man whose name I just mentioned, Josh Kind, who played in that tournament in St. Louis all those years ago, is here now in a completely different context, looking to partner with Ronak Sharma to be able to do what they did so far, which is push on toward a good total. So, Joshua Kind. I just talked him up. Josh, up to you to produce now.
No pressure.
None whatsoever. And he allows this one to go through to the keeper. You've extricated yourself from a tricky position, but the job is not done yet. Slapped away into the deep third area for 4. Josh Kind gets off the mark with a good one.
Hits with some power and timing. A fielder in the deep would have thought he would have had a chance to try and stop this. Instead, it's a boundary. I just still feel, though, with that wicket gone, the momentum will slow down a little bit.
I think that's exactly right. Momentum is almost always broken with the fall of a wicket. Look at this replay again. Just a little bit of width, not very wide, but it cashes in. Josh Kind. Similar type of delivery. This time, Josh Kind not able to get bat on it. End of the over, successful one for Krish Katre. And at the end of over number 15, last 5 coming up, the score is 130 for 6.
In the air and taken. Very well judged catch again in the deep. And this could not be a more important wicket. First delivery of the over. It's the 7th wicket and it's a set batter that's going to have to walk back.
1 brings 2. That's the second oldest rule in cricket. First being never run on almost at a free hit, on a fumble in the infield. The second is 1 brings 2, and the 2 are the 2 set batters from that last big partnership. And you saw Ian Desai take a ridiculous catch earlier in this match. So this catch by comparison is pretty straightforward. He judges it well. And this becomes a much more tricky position here for the St. Louis Americans. Yes, that big partnership brought them into a really strong position, relatively speaking anyway. But now with the fall of this wicket, it means that Joshua Kind, who's been there all of 3 deliveries, is now the senior partner. Harish Kakani coming in to join him will essentially have to figure out a way for them to get something in the 150 range that we were talking about. And to the extent that
Okay. So why don't we do the replay?
So the new batter is in Harish Kakani. And immediately off the mark with a single down to that deep point area.
This is a big breakthrough here. Big breakthrough, 2 set batters back in the pavilion in back-to-back overs. And now you don't really have much time to settle down. You've got to go for it. 1 boundary picked up by Joshua Kind already. Between the two, you would assume Joshua Kind is going to have to take lead here with a bat.
Number one, because of the fact that he is the senior partner by virtue of having faced 4 balls to Harish Kakani's 1. Yes. Number 2, because of the fact that, not because I know him personally, but I rate him very highly as a young all-rounder, good seam bowler, and I think a much better batter than his figures would indicate. Don't have his figures yet for this tournament in front of me, but I think that I rate him very highly as a batter. Maybe a step below where the Joshua Trumps and Matthew Trumps are, but not very far behind. And he is a big unit. He can hit a good long ball. So you can do worse than having him at the back end of the innings at the wicket. Reverse sweep, but straight to short third. I just talked him up, and he holds out the short third, 133 for 8.
And it is the reverse sweep again. There is a fielder in that direction. You've got to be so careful where you're placing the ball if you're going to play that shot. Bobbled catch, still manages to complete it. Joshua Kind gone for 5 off 6. It's 133 for 8.
I will say this. We talked about mixing caution with aggression. Mixing caution with aggression is important. As Mohamed Elias coming to the crease. Going into the back end of the innings, 26 balls remaining before that shot. Between the two of you at the crease, you've faced 5 balls. I would have taken another couple of deliveries, maybe another whole over before I started playing the reverse sweep. And that, to me, is going to be a big difference in this game because you needed Joshua Kind to bat all the way through. Having lost him now, you're left with Harish Kakani and then the bowlers. Chaitanya Bishnoi back into the attack. Left arm orthodox. Oh, a little bit of hesitation, but ultimately I think they're fine. This essentially will be very difficult. And from here, you've essentially painted yourself into a corner where you're going to have to try to figure out a way that you can manufacture a few runs at the back end of this innings. But it's going to be much, much harder now, given that you've lost 8 wickets. Single taken here on the infield. Going into the back end of the innings, you want to be scoring in multiples of singles. You want to be scoring 8, 9, 10 runs and over. 10 runs and over from here would get you to 172, but the current rate 8.27. You've slowed down tremendously beyond that, and always happens when you lose wickets, and that doesn't put you in any better position. And it certainly is going to put you in the position where you're going to have to maybe manufacture runs in a way that you might not be comfortable with. Down the ground, catchable. No, it's over the top. Goes all the way for 6. Tell you what, that's a flat batted shot from Harish Kakani, but it is a successful one. 6 down the ground. Chaitanya Bishnoi dropping this one just a little too short, I think. And it does sail all the way over the top. First time it touches down is when it hits the fence 10 yards beyond the rope. That's a good strike by Harish Kakani. Quick single on the infield. Oh, shy at the stumps. Not successful, but you know what? You'll take those singles when you get them. And so you're at the point now, you're down to the last 20 balls of the innings. How are you going to find a way to get maybe a run a ball? Obviously, run a ball gets you to 162. Is there a way that you can get yourself in the 170 range? Play the way off the back foot. Get at least one. This is good. Yes, you want to get, fumble in the outfield, so they come back for another. So you want to put yourself in the position. In fact, they've gotten 3, so that is excellent running. And a fumble in the outfield, Coach Monala Patel is not going to be happy with that.
Maybe back up.
I'm not the taskmaster. That's you. Now, let's see. 1 ball remaining. It's been a relatively expensive over so far. 12 coming from it. And that's worked into the deep. And in fact, Harish Kakana will keep the strike. A single to close things out in over number 17. A productive over, 13 runs coming from it. End of over 17. I have 1 more run before my par score has been eclipsed. 146 for 8.
I think we're both going to be a little bit off on our predictions. I think they're going to get more than 155. Partly because of that partnership in the middle. After the 5 early wickets.
Well, 18 balls, 25 runs. Got to think 25 runs. 25 runs from here.
I kind of feel like I want to be right.
With the
With my
155?
prediction, yeah.
Shocker, you're competitive.
Who said that?
So we'll get 1 to start over number 18.
You see, they are 8 wickets down, though, so another wicket here could really change the game.
So, you're just trying to land on 155.
Come on, we wouldn't be in a sport if we weren't competitive. Extra bit of bounce, a swing and a miss. You know, we don't even play board games friendly at our house. Not because of me, because somehow my kids have this same competitiveness.
Jeez, both of their parents played for Canada and are about the most competitive person you could ever hope to meet. I don't know where it would have come from.
Me too, I wonder. Sometimes it's a good thing. The apple doesn't fall from the tree, but I know myself well, and sometimes it's not a good thing. Played away. Should just be a single. Wonder where they get the stubbornness from.
No clue whatsoever. Stubbornness.
Flight on offer, and just manages to find the fielder. Dot ball it is. It's been a decent spell by Sashwat Kohli. 11 for 2.
2 for 11 from his 2.5 overs. So I think That would qualify as a decent spell, yes. Less than a run a ball. So obviously learned something from the class that he took with you.
Excellent again. Looking to sweep. It's a swing and a miss and a dot to end the over. Just 2 runs coming off of it. 18 overs gone. 148 for 8. On par for 155.
Not at all competitive.
Oh, you gotta have some things in life. The ones in the chocolate clouds, what are they called? The one in the cone. There's a cone and there's ice cream on top of it,
Right.
and it comes ready to go.
That's cool.
No, it's called something.
I know I look like I eat a bunch of dessert, but I actually don't.
But a major sweet tooth. I love biscuits. Big flashing shot. Should land in no man's land. I was going to say should land in one of those 2 fielders' hands. Doesn't quite have the distance. It's going to be 2 runs.
And decide back in for his last over. Before that delivery, 3 overs it cost him 34 runs, so a little bit more expensive than he's accustomed to being. Bowling at the back end here, these batters you would think would be looking to attack. By the way, that double bringing up the 150.
No control on this either. Fielder under it, and fielder takes the catch. Wicket number 9.
If you hear excitement in Manada Patel's voice, ladies and gentlemen, it has everything to do with the fact that she is absolutely banking on 155. Big top edge and a straightforward catch, taking a short third. Manada Patel is as excited as you'd think, given that she's not stepped onto a cricket field in anger in a very long time. Mohamed Ilyas is the batter who has been dismissed, catch taken by Subtai. And Desai with his 2nd wicket, but more to the point, it essentially has put the St. Louis Americans in danger of not batting through the entirety of their innings. Don't ever want to leave balls not faced. Cricket is a hard enough game, at least limited overs cricket, when you sacrifice balls by not being able to face them, and certainly will put you in a position as Manada Patel is now warming up, because she's going to do a dance around the studio if the final score is 155.
I'm actually very uncoordinated. I cannot dance to save my life. Not like the West Indians, you know? There's rhythm there. Believe me, awful at it. Pulled away. Has he latched on? Yes, he has, in the gap. And it's going to bring the score to 156.
She is mortified in disappointment as her par score goes out of the window, but that's a good looking shot from Hamid Safi. So you have a 2, a dot, and 2 wicket, and then a 6. And that's in over number 19. So how far can you get here? Short ball. Dying as it gets into the gloves of wicketkeeper Rahul Jariwala. 2 balls remaining in the spell.
Down the ground. Should be a single. Is a single.
168. Get to 168. That might be asking a lot from the last pair. You want to get to 163.
I mean, I've won the contest already.
I mean, that's not...
Between our two predictions.
My analysis is based on the game that we're actually watching here.
2 straight on the pads. Should be leg buys. We'll just wait for confirmation. Leg buys it is. And that's going to round off the 19th over. It's 158 for 9 with 1 over to come. They've brought themselves to a pretty decent position here, the St. Louis Americans, despite losing 5 early wickets. Good recovery period from over number 8 to over number 15.
So the last over to be bowled by Shashwat Kohli. With Shashwat Kohli, it's 2 overs so far. It's 3 overs so far. I've only cost 11 runs, and he's taken 2 wickets. So this is excellent stuff from your spinner. And here we are with Shashwat Kohli. Last over underway. Looks to whip this around on the leg side. We'll get a run. Let's see if there's anything else involved here. Nope, just a bye. So they'll steal a bye. Don't have an issue with that necessarily. You accept any runs that you can get in the stage of the innings. Of course, the last 5 coming up, you certainly want to put yourself in the position of cashing in on any run scoring opportunities. Off the back foot, forcing this into the mid-wicket area. Another couple of runs is what you'll get here. Good strong throw to the keeper's end, but there's always going to be a safe run, so to speak. So the last 4 coming up. Kudos to the St. Louis Americans, again collapsing at the top half of their innings, but the bottom order has actually done very well. Let's call it the lower middle order. That's a dot. So the last 3, earlier I said 165. Can you get 2 boundaries out of the next 3 balls? Oh, we tried to go big, didn't he? But did not get anything on that. So a couple of dots after a 2. So you're down now to the last 2 balls. What can you get done in these last 2? A swipe and a miss yet again. Really not getting anywhere close. And Shashwat Kohli is bowling very well. Look a bit leg spinners is what he's bowling. And is going past the outside edge on every single one of these. Last ball.
Very well bowled.
Oh my goodness. What a last over. Just 2 runs off of the bat in that over. Plus the bye. Just 3 runs total. Excellent stuff from Shashwat Kohli.
Also sets the target of 162 runs needed from the 120 deliveries for the Seattle Thunderbolts when they come back. Yeah, this has been an excellent display with the ball, but let's take a look at the batting card real quick. 5 batters getting in double digits. Sohan Bhatia had a really good start up at the top. Joshua Trump, a quick fire 24. Sujit Nayak, a decent 32 as he anchored the innings in a tough time with Ronak Sharma, 36 off 25. And then a little bit of a helping hand from Harsh Kakani, 12 off 11. Single digits otherwise for the batters, except a target of 162. But the bowling has started really well and ended very well.
Kudos completely to Shashwat Kohli, bottom of that lineup, bottom of that graphic rather. 4 overs, 2 for 13. Economy rate of 3.25 is test cricket like. 3 wickets make that 2 wickets for Ayan Desai and Aaron Parvatka each, even though they were both more expensive than they would have liked to have been. But the other bowlers also very defensive and pulling things back. You've gotten yourself into a good position here. So go through a few highlights. There's a couple of lusty blows. I think the top order looked good for a while. That catch right there, to me, is going to end up being the catch of the tournament. That would hold up across any other catch that you'll see. Joshua Trump looked very good for the time that he was there, cashing in on a couple of loose balls, and especially a couple of lusty blows wide of the crease, and that's the top edge that gets taken by the keeper. When I say wide of the crease, I'm referring to when Joshua Trump has a couple that he drags from outside the line of off stump for wickets or for 4s and 6s. That one, I think you want to see a little bit more control, maybe a little bit better shot selection than a couple of these that you've seen. That is a really good catch down on the boundary by Mayura Lakshmankant to dismiss Joshua Trump. Then wickets fell at regularity, but then that one big partnership for the 6th wicket for 70 runs. That was a really important one in the context of this game. That Chaitanya Bishnal wishes he would have had over. But down the ground here, you've seen some lusty blows, including sailing over the head of the new father, Mohsin, up there at the top of the side screen. And then a couple of wickets falling toward the end when you've gotten yourself in a decent position here. And the last bit of action I think you'll see on this highlight is going to be a couple of difficult catches. This one is pretty straightforward by Ayan Desai, especially compared to the one that he took earlier in the match. And then Joshua Kind with that reverse sweep, always going to pick out short third. Then just going toward the back end of the innings, stumbling a little bit, losing a couple of wickets, and then not quite able to get anything on the bat in that last over. Puts you in a position now, just 161 for 9. See whether or not the Seattle Thunderbolts can chase down 162. We'll find that out in about 12 minutes. See you shortly. All right, I may join you in the walk if you want. But it has to be right now. Ouch! Can the St. Louis Americans defend 162? They will need to do it defending against Rahul Jariwala and Shreyas Chitneni. Mohamed Ilyas, I would imagine, will be the opening bowler for the St. Louis Americans. Is it defendable? It's absolutely defendable because a score of 161 is the highest score that we've seen batting first from memory in this tournament so far. But Rahul Jariwala is a great batter. He has a few friends around him who can also put runs on the board. Shashwat Kohli is who I'm thinking about. And Shreyas Chitneni himself is a very accomplished batter in his own right. So the opportunity to score runs will be there. The opportunity to put yourself in the position to accelerate toward a target will be there. Needing to score at the rate of 8.1 runs and over the rest of the way to win. And Mohamed Ilyas will want to have the type of spell that you'll want to get to knock over some opening batters inside the power play and then put his team in front. As of right now, it's just about anybody's game, and we're off and running for the start of the second half of this match. Rahul Jariwala standing at the non-strikers and the Shreyas Chitneni just defending that first ball into the offside for no run. Mohamed Ilyas plays for the St. Louis Americans, not just in this game, but in the minor league system. Joshua Trump behind the stumps. Man wearing the gloves. Two outside the circle, deep backward square leg, and deep third. Those are your two outside in the power play. Slash and a miss by Mohamed Ilyas. I'll make that by Shreyas Chitneni. So a couple of dots. Always a good thing to start with dot balls. Want to build a little bit of pressure. Scoreboard pressure comes into play. And more than anything else, you see yourself in the position where you're starting to start telling yourself, you know what, we can win this game if we just get some disciplines right. Help build a little bit of pressure. Put the batting team in the position where they think that they have to be more aggressive. And then that puts you in a much better position as a bowling unit. 3 in a row. The third tickles the outside edge. Outside edge is found. Joshua Trump with the celebration. No runs on the board and already 1 wicket down. Monali Patel, good afternoon.
Wow, good afternoon for some of us. Not so much for Shreyas, who's walking back on a duck. Excellent delivery this. Just completely missed the line of the ball. Easy enough catch for the keeper, Joshua Trump, and that's going to be the first one. Shreyas Chitneni gone for a duck. It's none for one.
Shreyas Chitneni taking his sweet time getting off the field. He was that much disappointed.
Just played down the wrong line completely.
Certainly played down the wrong line. The other thing is, when you try not to make eye contact with the umpire, knowing that you've nicked it. I saw a little bit of that from him, but I don't think that there was any doubt that he tickled that one. Celebration from the fielders and keeper alike. Karthik Mongatil not having any doubt as to whether or not that one was feathered on the way through. So now with 3 balls remaining here in over number 3, over number 1, the new batter, Rishi. Exactly, not sure.
No, that's not right.
Right, Rishi Ramesh is not in the 11. Rishi Ramesh, somebody else who my son played with and against. Appeal, taking a good long look, but then deciding that I think bouncing over and going down the leg side. I will say this, Mohamed Ilyas is one of those chronic appealers. So his umpires will always think hard about his appeals. Easily going down the leg side for me.
Height is a bit of a question mark as well, but it's what happens here, right there, that I am not happy with.
As I started saying, he's a chronic appealer. He is one who does not like his appeals being turned down.
Well, you got to respect the umpire on the field.
If I'm an umpire, first of all, he's doing that to the young man. Kartik Mangathal is a really good young umpire, but he's very, very young. He's not yet 20 years old, I don't think. And I don't think he appeals like that if Owen Brown is the man who is at his end. So, Mohamed Ilyas, I think, is going to be, take a look at this again. Going down for me.
Just too high.
Going to maybe just shaving the outside in terms of line, but on height, that's bouncing over the top.
I don't know if you recently saw the incident that happened between the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, the coach, the head coach, Toronto Blue Jays,
okay,
and one of the refs in the game.
Umpires?
Yep.
Did not see it. What happened?
Well, so he went...
None for one, by the way. End of one.
Wicket maiden it is as well. He went down screaming in the umpire's face. Screaming. He went red. It's a pretty viral clip. I'm surprised you've not seen it.
If it's baseball, I wouldn't have watched it. Okay. Baseball irritates me for that reason.
Well, and that's why I'm saying it. So now that was baseball, but he then, threw the coach out of the game.
Right.
Now in cricket, we have the spirit of the game,
correct,
which baseball doesn't.
Correct.
And it's important to understand that we have that because we want to play it respectably.
In my mind, and yes, is it close? It's definitely close. But the question you get to ask, the umpire responds, and then that's the end of the conversation. I don't like the stare down at the end. I don't like the hands on the hips. I don't like the talking. And I've always, Mohamed Ilyas is a really good bowler, but I've always had that about him that does not sit well with me.
I wanted to try and read his lips, but...
That's probably not a good idea. Ryan Taj.
It would have been a bit colorful, I think.
It absolutely would have been. Ryan Taj is the young man, left arm orthodox from right here in the Houston area. And he is just coming back the other day from the U19 trip on the U19, the tour that the U19 Americans had. Really good young left arm orthodox. Flicked away into the deep. Should get a couple here, I think. Nope, just one.
Oh. Where were the other 19?
Don't ask me that because I don't remember. I don't pay that close to it. You're the one who's a cricket media person. I'm just a guy who gets to talk cricket on the weekends. Namibia feels like it sounds familiar.
That is something that I find U.S. cricket does very well. A lot of tours for the men's teams and women's teams. Under 19 boys are constantly training around the world. The number of games that your women's team is also playing, that's the sort of stuff that you need to be doing consistently. Match practice is the best sort of practice it can get as,
Two balls remaining here in over number 2. Ryan Taj bowling a really good spell so far. Oh, it was in the air for a while.
Just needed a bit of a Superman dive in that.
Superman dive would not have even gotten him close. Look at this.
You doubt Superman.
Oh yeah, there's no way he wouldn't have gotten anywhere close. But you like the dot ball. Last ball coming up. And the diving stop in the cover is what a great over. Just 3 runs coming from from it. A couple of singles for the first two, and then the last ball is that single, 3 from the over, end of over number 2, 3 for 1. So, 2 overs in the books. Mohamed Ilyas back into the attack for his second over. Wicket maiden to start the innings. Rahul Jariwala solid in defense.
I do like the fact that he likes to hit the deck hard. Mohamed Ilyas.
There is a lot to like about Mohamed Ilyas as a bowler. His accuracy, his hostility, his, let's call it confrontational personality as a pace bowler. Those are all assets. I know. The one thing that, as I said earlier, that to me is something that he can clean up is the appeals to the keeper or to the umpire.
It's not just hitting the deck hard, but it's also that angle that he gets to shape it into the right-hander. Just cramps the right-hander for room. And good length as well, making it a bit awkward to then be able to commit to the shot.
Well, let's see whether or not he can put himself in the position of knocking over Rahul Jariwala, 2 from 7. He was a good young player, Rahul Jariwala. Lovely shot. That's going to race away for 4. That's what I was talking about earlier. He's one of a handful of players who just loves to see the ball just out of his reach on the offside. This big step into that drive and driving it square all along the carpet for 4.
The width on offer there has been the reason for that boundary. First 2 deliveries, the angle into the right-hander offered no room whatsoever. This time, short, wide, didn't hit the deck as hard either. Easy pickings for that boundary.
So that was the first scoring stroke off of Mohamed Ilyas. 8 dot balls before that one. Knocked him over inside edge onto the stumps. He gets his revenge immediately, Mohamed Ilyas. Second wicket down, 7 for 2.
There's that angle that I was talking about. First 2 deliveries, cramping, bringing it in. And this time going back to that after a loose delivery the ball before. Wasn't expecting for it to come that sharply with that angle. And that length, again, just doesn't allow you to be in a comfortable position. Chopped on, and that's going to be the end. I do like the little fist pump on the way out. Not sure as a batter I'd be ready for that at that moment. But Rahul Jariwala has gone for 6 off 9. It's 7 for 2.
That's a big one. I think it's fair to say that the Seattle Thunderbolts don't necessarily bat as deep as some of the other teams in this tournament. Here is the man that they would want to get immediately. It's Chaitanya Bishnoi. Very highly rated player, all-rounder, supreme, major leaguer. Obviously played in the minor leagues here for a very long time. And he's a coach. I do know that he is actually a coach. We've collaborated in a few things in the past, but I will tell you that his wicket now becomes the prize wicket in this innings. So I want to see, first of all, who Rishi is, because I still am not sure what scorecard is referring to. But Chaitanya Bishnoi, his wicket becomes a really, really important one. He has the wherewithal, the experience, the, call it, the maturity to be able to maneuver through tricky situations, and this certainly would be a tricky situation for the Seattle Thunderbolts. They do need to figure out a way to go after the next 155 runs with the 104 balls that they have remaining. A required rate hovering around 9, and Mohamed Elias breathing fire at the top of his run-up. Solidly in defense here, Chaitanya Bishnoi. Mohamed Elias has only conceded 4 runs so far in the 11 balls that he's bowled. He's only conceded 1 scoring stroke. It was a 4, and he has taken 2 wickets. So let's see what he can get done here on this last of his first 2 overs of his spell. I should say the last ball of his first 2 overs. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to get rid of Chaitanya Bishnoi, because that makes the team or the game a whole lot easier. Whoa! That kept low, huge swipe and a miss, Chaitanya Bishnoi. Excellent over from Mohamed Elias, just 4 runs, and the big wicket of Rahul Jariwala. End of 3, 7 for 2.
I think it's the first one that we've actually seen keep low like that. Fairly true bounce off the surface through and through. Just creates a bit of doubt in the batter's mind once you see that starting to happen.
Ryan Taj, 1 over and 1 ball into his spell. Single in over number 4. 8 runs on the board, another 154 remaining for the Seattle Thunderbolts. That 154 looks very, very high after you've lost 2 top order wickets. Interesting matchup here, lefty v lefty. Ryan Taj turns the ball into Chaitanya Bishnoi. With the wind coming from the southeast, I do not think that it's a bad idea to target deep mid wicket. Oh, up and over. And it's going to go a couple of bounces for 4.
Oh, they need these runs, don't they? They just need to break these shackles, because the first 3 overs, it's been total control from St. Louis Americans.
That's a good shot. Maybe Ryan Taj will probably want that ball to be slightly closer toward off stump. But the natural inclination for the lefty is to go toward mid wicket. But he goes inside out. Nobody in the deep on the offside straight. And so that's why he plays that shot, Chaitanya Bishnoi. Straight down the ground here. Oh, we're just seeing here that they ran a couple of runs. That overthrow is what came into play. Looking to sweep Chaitanya Bishnoi. Well, Chaitanya Bishnoi understands the assignment. A lefty is bowling to me. I get to score runs off of this lefty. Look at this sweep shot. really just walking across, helping himself to 4 runs behind square on the leg side. And so this is turning into a really good over for the Seattle Thunderbolts. That's 2 balls coming up here, but Ryan Taj will know that it's going to be very difficult to bowl to Chaitanya Bishnoi in this mood. I don't know that I don't just bowl a Yorker. Very, very full on the toes. Went full. Quick defending that ball into the offside, and they run through for a single. You don't mind that at all if you are the St. Louis Americans, because the matchup righty versus lefty probably works a lot better. Looking to turn the ball away from the right-handed batter, Rishi. 2 from 5. And all of a sudden, with a little bit of a delay, let's see here. Seattle Thunderbolts, 19 for 2. This has been easily the best over of the inning so far for them. 12 runs already with 1 ball to come. Let's see what happens from this last ball. Oh, how close did that come to being caught? Almost disastrous, but he gets 4 for it through the covers. Nobody sweeping out on the offside, and that is 4. A huge over in the context of this game. 16 runs coming from it. End of 3, make that end of 4, 23 for 2.
Just releasing all that pressure after the 2 wickets. Short, wide, and struck very powerfully for 4 runs.
Does serve as a pressure release, doesn't it? So 5.75 and over is what they're scoring at now, but a couple of overs ago their scoring rate was 2.75, so they've they've actually doubled their scoring rate just from that last one big over. And now 139 is needed from 96. That feels more in line like what you were looking for. This matchup again is an important one. Mohamed Elias is going to be taken out of the attack, and it's going to be Harish Kakani.
Just feel that Chaitanya Bishnoi is a key wicket. And if they can pick him up early, then it will be a lot of trouble. Seattle Thunderbolts just don't seem to have as much depth in that batting lineup as St. Louis Americans did.
Which is why each one of these batters carries a fair amount of weight on their shoulders, because they know how important each of the wickets is. Probably I'd put Chaitanya Bishnoi above the heap in that category in terms of the importance of his wicket. So he has some measuring to do. He has to understand, yes, we need 8.7 runs and over, but I also cannot get out. So he has to find that balance. Gone! Crushed, but straight to short extra cover. Straightforward catch taken there at short cover. Ranak Sharma is the one with that catch. And boy, that is a body blow. The man who I think is the best batter on the side has been dismissed. 23 for 3.
Harish Kakani into the attack, and first ball drilled straight to the fielder. Could have hit that anywhere he would have liked. That's the 3rd one gone. Chaitanya Bishnoi, the experience will go with him. Off the field, gone for 11 off 7. It's 23 for 3.
Oh, this is a big one. This is absolutely a big one. This makes the St. Louis Americans feel like they're well and truly in the driver's seat here. See exactly how you can maneuver and get something out of this situation, because now things have become that much more difficult. Chaitanya Bishnoi has been dismissed. It is Shashwat Kohli who is now at the wicket to join Rishi. And Shashwat Kohli, who is a good young batter, but you've lost 3 top order wickets. Take a look at this again. It was hammered, but if it's 2 yards either side of the fielder at short extra cover, and I do believe that that's Ronak Sharma. If it's 2 yards either side of him, it's 4 runs. But you do manage to pick out Ronak Sharma, and under those circumstances, things become that much more difficult for you. So Shashwat Kohli has a huge job here on his hands. The course that you said that you taught where Shashwat Kohli was in attendance, what course exactly was that?
That was an ICC level 1 tutor course. Okay. So you're training future coach educators for level 1s. Pushed into the offside for a dot ball. And rebuilding again. Haven't been allowed to set any partnerships up today. First wicket gone on 0 runs, the second one on 7, and the third one on 23. Becomes very hard to build an innings when you're consistently losing wickets.
Well, not only do you need to avoid losing any more wickets, but now scoreboard pressure starts becoming an issue, because each dot ball puts you in the position where the required rate starts climbing. And when that required rate starts to climb, that's where the pressure comes from. Kohli not able to get these deliveries away, and that dot ball has now made the required rate be above 9.
I wouldn't be too concerned about that required run rate just yet. It's just 5 overs into the game. What they really need at the moment is time out in the middle and to get a partnership going. Because if they're able to get a decent enough partnership, they'll be able to chase it down towards the end. Don't think I'm too concerned about that required run rate.
Up in the air, another wicket. Oh my goodness. Shashwat Kohli goes, scores as much as you and I did, 24, make that 23 for 4.
You could sense that wicket coming. Wicket, and then it was a dot, just couldn't find a way to get off strike, and the pressure of it all, he had absolutely no idea where that ball went. Outside edge, leading edge, and a comfortable catch. It's going to be wicket number 4, and the St. Louis Americans are absolutely all over this game.
Ryan Taj with a couple of good overs, and then that catch taken at backward point. I will say this, he got a delivery that he could score off of. That ball's drifting down the leg side. That's one that can be clipped away behind square leg for 4. But Shashwat Kohli got a leading edge, and a ball that should have disappeared behind square for 4 gets popped up in the air, the simplest of catches, and that becomes a body blow. 23 for 4. You've lost 4 wickets inside the power play. There's still 7 deliveries to go in the power play. And so now it's going to be Aditya Ganesh who's asked to join with Rishi and get something on the board. You're not worried about the required run rate yet, Nala Patel, but that run rate will start climbing with the fall of these wickets and with the dots that they're experiencing.
Well, and that's just it. They've got to try and salvage the situation with the wickets. Harish Kakani needs to bowl one more dot ball. It could be a wicket as well. And he will very well have a double wicket or a triple wicket maiden.
Oh, wow. Here's that last ball. Well, he will not have the double wicket maiden. Single closes things out over number 5, but it's a good one for the St. Louis Americans. Just one run coming from the over. The score after 5, 24 for 4.
That's going to be a wide. Don't want to bleed. Not when you're completely on top of the opposition. You don't want to give away these freebies.
Sujit Nayak, is it? Even though the scorecard says Hamid, the number 12 on my sheet is Sujit Nayak. So let's just say it's one of the bowlers.
That does not look like a Sujit.
So then, let's go with Hamid. All worked into the leg side for single.
Actually, he's not even playing. Hamid Safi, he's number 12.
I rest my case.
Hamid Safi is supposed to be number 12. Did we have an injury? Did we have a super sub?
So, looking at where you are, 26 for 4, 136 needed in 89 balls. Not the cleanest of run-ups, is
I
it?
was just going to say that. If from
Feels
let's
like
have a fast bowler talk us through this.
That's exactly what we're about to look at. Okay, let's take a look at. Let's please. We're not picking on you. We're just simply understanding. There's a little bit of hesitancy. There is sort of lateral movement.
Starting, stopping.
Cleanest of actions. I don't know that there is anything about that looks like it makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's something that the coaches can work with him on. He's running in and sort of swaying from one side to the other. He's not running in a straight line. Sort of stuttering and starting. Not the cleanest of run-ups. But having said that, the run-up doesn't matter. It's how you deliver the ball that counts.
Really? For a fast bowler to say that, who knows how important the rhythm is, starting at the top of your mark.
I'm just talking about the results. The results. If you saw somebody who's bowling like, what's his name? India.
Okay, well, here, let me clarify what I mean by that, okay?
Yes.
If something's working consistently,
I agree with what you're about to say.
Successfully,
Yes.
and there's no injury, there's no
Yes.
reason to change it.
Agree 100%.
But if it's not working,
then there's plenty to change.
then you should potentially look at change, yes.
So in other words, why can't I not? Jasprit Bumrah is the name I was trying to think of. So you wouldn't coach somebody to bowl like Jasprit Bumrah. But if Jasprit Bumrah is not getting the results that Jasprit Bumrah gets, then probably early on his coach says, here are some things that you can look at differently. But your point is exactly right. The results matter more than the process. But if the results are not there, then you look at fixing the process.
Absolutely.
Long way away here. 31 for 4. You need another 131 runs in the next 86 balls.
Yeah, it seems like a tall task, doesn't it? Especially when you're 4 wickets down. And you've lost your top 4 batters.
Mm-hmm.
Just starting to find his line. Oh, that's got to hurt.
Ouch.
Brush it off. Brush it off. You never show pain. It's always the first rule. Never show pain.
Does never show pain apply to women cricketers as well as men cricketers?
100%.
Okay.
Competitors are competitors.
Hey, this is what I like to see. That is Muhammad Ilyas, who has all the fire and aggression of a fast bowler. But when he's not bowling, he's actually checking on the guy. Are you okay? Just wanted to make sure you're fine. All right, back to Muhammad Ilyas himself.
A better comeback.
Yep.
After a shaky start for Hamid. 6 overs gone, ended the power play. It's 32 for 4.
Harish Kakani back into the attack as the St. Louis Americans are attempting to design a very good victory here. The Seattle Thunderbolts themselves are looking to extricate themselves from a stranglehold.
Oh dear. Nope, don't run on it.
Never ever run on a misfield.
Never ever are 2 very strong words. But yeah, we got to be very cautious. We did see a run out that way this morning, didn't we?
Yep.
Going for the 3rd off and overthrow, resulting in a run out.
Harish Kakani are now out of the power play into over number 7.
Just can't get it in the gap. Intention clear enough to just bisect the 2 fielders. On doing better on overrate than we did last year, which does mean that we'll have enough daylight to complete this game, and also for the ground staff to then be able to prepare the ground for tomorrow. Double header tomorrow, so a slightly lighter workload.
Well, the fact that you just said instead of last night, last year.
Did I say last year?
You did say last year, which says it's an indication of how agonizingly slow the overrate was last night.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I said last year.
I think the point has been made by that Freudian slip. That's cutaway behind point for 4. Look at this, a little bit of a loose delivery again, just cut away, and a really good diving attempt at backward point, but really couldn't get anything on it. So Manala Patel, I've not asked you the win predictor question yet. I don't want you to say who you think is going to win. I want specific percentages assigned to each side.
I think St. Louis Americans are at the moment higher on the win percentage.
Give me specifics.
At about 70%.
Ooh. I was going to say 65-35. So you're 70-30.
Yes.
Okay.
Partly because of the 4 early wickets and also just looking at the batting lineup, I think there isn't as much depth.
Very interesting. And as of right now, the required rate, which you're not concerned about, is 9.23. End of over number 7, 42 for 4.
There is a partnership, small, but a partnership nonetheless starting to form. Just starting to be a bit more comfortable as well in rotating the strike. Yvonne Vinod, I believe. His shirt does not match that name, but in the gap and done well to pull this back.
Great work in the deep. Josh Kind. Nobody's shirt matches their jersey numbers, and neither shirts nor jersey numbers matches what we have in front of us. So let's just assume that this is in fact Yvonne. The shirt says Bala.
Straight into the hands. Make that wicket number 5. Another soft dismissal. Yvonne is going to add on to the wickets tally as the St. Louis Americans, they continue to get a stronghold of this game. Seattle Thunderbolts in a lot of trouble here.
Good sharp catch taken by Hamid. Half of the side done, and you're not even halfway through the innings yet in terms of the overs. You're just 2 deliveries into over number 8, so all of 76 balls are left. That's a dismissal that will hurt. Yet another body blow. Don't know how much batting that there is left. But so Ty will be coming in to take the place of the recently departed batter, Aditya Ganesh. So Ty will be coming in to join with the now senior partner Rishi. And a difficult job just got that much harder here for the Seattle Thunderbolts. Well, 44 for 5. The current run rate is exactly 6 run a ball. Required rate 9.3. New batters in. Ooh. goes fishing outside the line of off stump. I don't know that that's the best choice.
Well, he's gone fishing. I've got no idea where Rishi was going from the non-striker's end. It's just in these moments when you were under the pump, that last delivery, fairly short. When you're in confidence, you should be able to put that away. You should be able to jump onto that back foot and pull it away. But you're just not in that position as a team right now. A lot of pressure. And so now your mindset has shifted to complete defense mode. Another drag down delivery.
Certainly another drag down, but I think you're exactly right. The mindset has shifted because your choice now is to either get bowled out cheaply or at least stretch to take this game deep. You don't get to bat with the freedom that you would have been batting with had there not been 5 top order wickets lost. So with 1 ball remaining here in over number 8, your job is getting that much more difficult. Do they want 2 here? Nope. They'll just settle for one run that brings you, yes, 1 run closer. But the end of over number 8, you still have another 115 to get in the next 72 balls. 47 for 5 after 8. Forty-seven for 5. New bowler coming from the forest end, northern end of the ground. It's going to be Yuvan Vinod. I said new bowler. He's already bowled 1 over. But under the circumstances, anything where you deliver more than or somewhere around the run a ball or better. When I say deliver, I mean you as a bowler will concede that little, then you're putting your team in a better position. Bit of a fumble there. Get a single to start over number 9.
Just feel like the energy has completely dropped, the intensity in the game. This kind of goes for both teams though. I mean, they've picked up 5 wickets, sure. Top edge.
Oh.
And it's going to fall short. And it's a no ball. And when I say the intensity's dropped, I just feel like if you've picked up 5 wickets, why is there no pressure being put on in the field?
Mm-hmm. You want to see people in catching positions. You want to see...
You want to go for the jugular. You've got them in a really difficult position right now. You go for the jugular.
Well, here's a free hit.
And it's another no ball.
Oh my
Make that back-to-back no balls. Free hit again.
Oh, this is not the best of bowling here from young Yuvan Vinod. And conceded a couple of no balls. Back to our conversation earlier about spinners and no balls. This is not exactly... Ooh, you see that? See what I see? He missed his run-up. So something tells me he's not yet measured his run-up in the way that he should. And now One of the senior players apparently running over to have a chat with him.
It's one of the most underrated things as a fast bowler. But it's so crucial to make sure that you've got your run out, you've got your run up figured out.
Yep.
Because that momentum and that rhythm starts at the top of your run up.
100% agree.
Now this is a free hit, so even if the catch is taken, you cannot pick up a wicket off that delivery unless it's a run out.
What other ways can you be dismissed off of a free hit?
Just a run out.
Obstructing the field.
Oh my gosh.
Handled the ball. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because we rarely ever see those dismissals.
Any of the modes of dismissal
Catch.
that the bowler does not get credit for, you can be out off of a free hit.
I can't remember the last time that I've seen a wicket for.
Handle the ball?
Well, I think we saw one recently.
I was about to say,
handle the
like
ball.
last week.
Yeah, but
Actually, it was one of the West Indies, was it DeAndre Doughton? One of the West Indies women players was out very recently, within the last month. She was out handled the ball.
obstruction in the field I've not seen in a very long time.
No, that's a very legitimate method or mode of dismissal. We almost saw one in today's play. Remember in the second game?
But I think you'll be willingly and not willingly, but what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be consciously trying to change direction to avoid from getting run out for that.
No.
That's a wide.
No ball.
That's a no ball.
And it's no ball on height, I believe, because the no ball was signaled and called by umpire Owen Brown at square leg. So that tells me that's the second bouncer of the over. And he's having a bit of a shocker of an over here.
7 deliveries bowled. Only 4 of them are legal deliveries so far. And this is going to be a free hit. And it's not a free hit yet.
Now go back to your discussion about obstruction of the field. What exactly are you calling obstruction of the field?
So you cannot, well, I guess, yes, you cannot deviate the direction that you're running in. It's got to be, you've got straight line, no change of direction. Oh, he's picked this up. He has hammered this for 6 runs. And,
Wow.
well, you can't really blame the batter in this. He has been patient. He's sat through the no balls. And he said, you know what? If you want to give me free runs, let me
I'll
help
take
myself
them.
to 6.
Exactly. Finish your thought.
Where did I leave off? You can't change direction when you're running.
Right.
Can you, you can't block someone from being able to get to the ball either, no?
Correct. But the mode of this obstruction of the field, what I'm thinking about is that single closes out over number 9. Score is 62 for 5.
So, sorry, before you get to that, I know you umpire as well. Remember there was a recent, there was a game that Bangladesh was playing recently where there was a controversial run out.
Yes. Absolutely remember that.
So now that, would you classify that as potential obstruction? Because the batter was in the middle, in front of the ball, and it was pretty difficult for the bowler to try and get to that ball for that run out.
That's much less clearly defined, by the way. I just got a text message. See, when we do commentary, we have eyes and ears all over the place. This young man who just messaged me, Mr. Athanaki, who is the father of one of the superstars that you'll see here this weekend, Ali Sheikh, has said that handle the ball does not exist anymore. It's merged into obstructing the field. So I stand corrected Athanaki. So whatever would have been counted as handled the ball
Is obstructing the
is
field.
obstructing the field. So the ball is bouncing back towards the stumps, and you reach over and you grab it. You're out obstructing the field.
That's right.
The most traditional way, if you will, of obstructing the field is, let's say the ball is going towards the wicket. The throw is coming in, and you're running, and you see that you're about to be run out, and so you veer in the way so that the ball hits you instead of going through to the keeper or to whichever end you're going to. That, by definition, is obstructing
But
the
my
field.
question is, you'll often see that a batter will try and run in a straight line, but they will deviate. Sometimes it's just a thing because you're in the moment and you're sprinting. What if you do change direction? You've got you're running in the direction where you're not facing the ball.
Sure,
You've got
sure.
no idea that the ball's coming there.
It is the umpire's judgment. If the umpire thinks, you know what, he would have had no idea, and he's just maybe deviating to avoid running into the keeper or running into the bowler. That's different from, ooh, this ball is going toward the stumps, let me get in the way and block it. That's the difference, and that's the umpire's discretion.
There was a moment that happened, and it went viral with one of our women's team's players.
Whoa, when was this?
A few years ago. It was in South America. I think they were playing Brazil. And she did go viral. It was quite
She went viral.
blatant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in her defense, she said, I really wasn't trying to do that. I didn't know the ball was coming.
Was she giving out?
Nope.
She was not giving out.
That's why she went
But
viral.
she did say that she didn't know.
Yes.
Come on, girl. It's really, I had no idea. A dot that closes things out. We're halfway through this innings. Surprisingly, the Seattle Thunderbolts are sticking around in terms of the required rate. 9.6 and over is what they need the rest of the way. Why are you laughing? 66 for 5 after 10. Last 10. Small matter of 96 runs needed in the last 60 balls. Is it going to be Sujit Nayak? Nope, sorry. This is, didn't we agree that this was Hamid? I don't know anymore. Nobody's shirt numbers matches. Let's just say a bowler is coming in. You are in the field. Were you captain? Did I say I had already? Briefly. Let's say you're not captain, but you're a senior player. And you are standing at mid-on or mid-off. And one of your bowlers is truly having trouble landing 2 balls in the same zip code. What do you walk over and say to them?
Well, nothing after 2 balls.
After 2, you wouldn't say anything to them.
Oh,
I'd
that's
go
poor.
for 4. Yep.
That is poor. It's going to run away for a boundary. And I just sense that that very lengthy over that we had has released a lot of pressure on the batting side.
So the same gentleman I just referred to earlier, Arthur Naki, is asking a trick question. What are the 3 ways that you can get out on a no ball?
What are the 3 ways you can get out on a no ball? Well, you can get run out. Is it the same thing? Obstructing the field again?
Out obstructing the field. Arthur Naki, I have no idea what the 3rd one is. You're going to have to tell me. Or you're going to have to tell us.
'Cause you can't get stumped off a no ball.
Of course not. No. Any
You
mode
can
of
get
dismissal.
timed out.
Ooh.
Next batter can get timed out.
That might be it. No, how would you get timed out
The
if it's
next
a no
batter
ball?
would get timed out if he's not back. He or she's not on the field quick enough. When, never
But if
mind.
it's a
That
no
made
ball, who'd be?
absolute.
Okay, while we await the answer from Atanaki, I have my own trivia question for you. First two balls of a match have been bowled. At the end of those first two balls, the score is 8.
Sorry, start again.
First two balls of a match.
Okay.
At the end of the first two balls, the score is 8. Each batter has 4. How does that happen?
Well, they could have been a third ball. That doesn't really count as a ball if it's a no ball.
2 deliveries.
It is 2 deliveries.
2 deliveries. 8 runs is the score. Each batter has 4 runs. It's actually pretty simple if you think about it.
Here we go, Jeopardy. Explain to me. Tell me.
It's pretty easy, actually.
Yeah.
3 slips, a gully. You're playing at, I don't know, the SCG. Boundaries are 85 yards. Punch the ball down the ground. Fielder from mid-on gives it the long sprint. The batters come back for 5, but one of those 5 runs was short, so it only counts for 4. The next guy blasts it to the boundary for 4.
Wow, that's really far-fetched.
How is it far-fetched? That's actually very, very doable.
How often do you see 5 runs being run?
At the SCG or some other big ground like that?
No way.
Easily.
The throwing would have to be so pathetic.
No.
And
Again,
for
like I said,
you-
3 slips and a gully, so very stacked.
5 runs?
Yes.
Oh my God, no
Punch
way.
the ball down the ground. It's racing across the carpet. It's dragging the guy from backward square leg. He's going all the way down to mid-on or to long on. He picks the ball up 2, slides,
There's no
pulls
way.
the ball back, rolls over the rope. Now he is just pulled his hamstrings.
There's no way. And if you're playing at the SCG, you've got to be playing at a certain level. There's no way your throwing can be that pathetic at that level.
Okay. They ran quick 2, 3 overthrows, and now you get a couple more.
Goes back to my pathetic throwing thing.
Okay, we have an answer from Atanaki. The third one is hit the ball twice. Wait, I forgot about that one. Okay,
So
hit the
hard
ball
to
twice.
do again. So hard to do.
Hit the ball twice?
Yeah.
Not at all.
How many ways have you gotten out?
I've never gotten out like that, but it's a legitimate mode of dismissal. You
It
play
is.
forward defensive. The ball is bouncing in the air, not threatening the stumps, and you hit it again. That is out.
I absolutely agree
Yes.
that it is a legitimate mode of dismissal.
But-
However, how
but,
often do you see that?
The question is not how often you see it. The question is how can it happen? Mr. Atanaki, clearly we need more and more trivia. Keep sending them, please, sir.
Could you also message us if you think Brian's question right now, that theory of
He already answered it a long time ago before you even did.
5 runs at the SCG?
Whichever ground it is, doesn't matter.
Can't say SCG. You're not playing at the SCG if you throw that badly. Oh, reverse it is, and it's in the gap, and it's going to run away for 4 runs.
By the way, what's the score in this game?
80 for 5 after 11.2 overs.
80 for 5.
And they need just 82 more from 52. The partnership is starting to form.
Okay.
Couple of poor overs, and the momentum is now completely starting to shift the other way. And this is why I said a few overs ago, when you've got the opposition under pressure, you've got to go for the jugular.
Mm-hmm.
That's a direct hit. I think he is safely home, though.
81 needed from 51.
you're sitting on that chair. It would have done my back. Trapped. Oh, this was close. And the finger does go up. Oh, wow. That took a little bit of time, a little bit of thinking. It did look like a very good shout, and the breakthrough comes. It's wicket number 6. And it is the set batter. Sujit Nayak gets a breakthrough here. 81 for 6.
Let's take a look and see what we see on this replay. In all fairness, I was updating my respective scorecards and did not see it live, but let's see. Oh, this is close.
Good shot. Very good shot.
It's certainly a good shout. The only thing umpire Owen Brown had to decide was whether it was drifting down. But I think there's enough there to suggest that that's either smashing into or at worst clipping leg stump. It was not high. It's certainly... Interesting. We'll be able to see on the replay here.
No, he was the impact.
Oh, is it the impact player? Oh, Rishi Ramesh. So it really was, in fact, Rishi Ramesh earlier.
Impact player.
Yep. Rishi Ramesh, former U19 captain of the U.S., and yet another former teammate of my son's. Sometimes I wish my son still played cricket. I do. But then I remember how hard it is to be a cricket parent, and that changed my mind. Rohan Pasanapalli.
I mean, it's hard watching your kids play any sport, to be honest. You're just too emotionally invested in it.
I agree that it's hard to watch them play any sport, but it's doubly hard to watch them play cricket because all other sports are team oriented in the sense that for something good to happen in football, there has to be a pass, there has to be a reception, you're giving it around, and there's a lot of different things that happen to have something good happen or to have something bad happen. Cricket is a series of one-on-one battles. It's a bowler versus a batter. And that element of it to me makes it that much more difficult to be a cricket parent.
Some grip and turn on that one. And the good over comes to an end. 12 overs gone, 81 for 6. Did your son ever play American football?
Oh, no, it's absolutely not. They both knew from a very early age they were never going to play that sport.
Yeah, so that is my between hockey and American football. It's both of those sports are a no-go at my house as well. Just feel like brain injuries are not worth it. You've got a whole life to live outside of that sport, you know?
Goodness, yes, you're 100% right. We're on the same page.
Do you need your brain? It's a vital organ.
You know, I am around enough people who have played football to know that you mortgage the back half of your life for glory on the front half. There are people who played football who I know you would not have ever heard the name Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell, as Josh Kind comes into the attack, Earl Campbell was the best player for the Houston Oilers in the early 1980s. So that makes Earl somewhere around 70 or so years old now. If you see Earl Campbell, Earl right now looks like he's about 90 years old. Very, walks very gingerly. He moves around either in a wheelchair or or he's assisted walking around. And health-wise, he is mentally sharp. He has a very successful food franchise. If you're in the airport in Austin, you can go to Earl Campbell's barbecue. But it makes a huge difference how much he is negatively impacted physically by the fact that he played football for so long. And I know you know what CTE is. CTE is a very, very long name. I can't say the name of it, but essentially it's a brain injury. The only way to diagnose the brain injury is after death, where essentially you cut the brain open and look at the brain to inspect it. there is a disproportionate. Look at this.
Go on.
Get back to this discussion shortly. That is such a good catch down the backward square leg. Wicket number 7. Josh Kind picks up a wicket, and sub-tied is who flicks one to deep backward square leg, and he is dismissed. Look at this. It's actually a very good shot. Not the best of balls by Josh Kind, but that catch down there makes it look like a Jaffer, doesn't it? 7 down. Look at that. 82 for 6, make that 82 for 7 now. Anyway, just to finish up on that thought, a disproportionate percentage of people who are diagnosed with CTE played football. I know you've never heard the name Aaron Hernandez.
Why do I always assume that I've never heard?
Because I know you haven't. Have you? Aaron Hernandez was a football player. Played for the New England Patriots. Killed a guy. In fact, killed 2 guys. This is recent. What? This is within the last 15 years.
Actually killed?
Like, murdered him. Went on trial, was convicted of murder, spending life in prison, got tried for a second murder, was acquitted of that one, but still in jail on the first murder, hanged himself in jail. He was maybe 30 years old when he died. They said, inspecting his brain, that he had the worst case of CTE that they've ever seen for anyone his age. All caused by football.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Thank you.
Progressive degenerative brain disease caused by repetitive head impacts.
That's what happens when you play football.
Sounds absolutely awful.
It absolutely does, and that's why nobody ever associated with me or with whom I have any influence will ever play football. So my sons would have their PE teachers send notes home with them. Would you please have Kyle play football? He'd be your best player. Nope, sorry. So, that's why I love watching football, but I'd never have anyone important enough to me play it.
There are 2 sports that I don't quite, I'm just not able to connect with. American football's one of them, and basketball's the other.
Oh, you know, that's blasphemous.
What?
That's blasphemous. The Toronto, what are they called? Toronto, not Maple Leafs. Toronto
Raptors,
of
Toronto
course.
Raptors.
Toronto Raptors won the championship a few years ago. Another catch. Wicket number 8.
Well, falling like flies here. Joshua Kind's going to get his second in the over. And it's a short stay for Ayan Desai out in the middle. He'll be walking back for a duck.
Well, whatever the sport, you have to be dedicated to apply yourself to it. And, you know, I hate to sound like I'm bagging on football. You may have asked me yesterday what's my favorite sport. After cricket, in terms of being able to watch it, after cricket, it's actually football, American football. But difference between watching it on TV and having somebody important to me play it.
So I'm a sports junkie, I guess. And I will watch, like, even American football. I can watch it. But I just don't enjoy it as much as I do other sports. So the thing with basketball for me is I find it too monotonous. It's just back and forth between the nets, between the hoops. And there just isn't enough happening in the game for me to be into it. I mean, you could check in when the game starts, and then you could check in for the last 5 minutes of the game, and you would have missed nothing.
I wouldn't say you've missed nothing, but I would say the best things happen in the last 5 minutes.
Well, that's it.
So that's a legitimate criticism. Not that you need me to validate your opinion, but I think that's a legitimate.
That's going to be wide. No, that is going to be wide. I think I've heard, the argument, well, baseball is so boring compared to cricket. And I think if you watch baseball enough, you will be, you might see it in a very different light, because there are a lot of intricacies in baseball. Different pitches, different elements to the game that if you follow it enough, you will find it entertaining. Sure, it's a very different pace than cricket, but there's enough in there for it to hook you on.
the one thing about baseball that will never have me be a serious connoisseur of it is the arguing with the umpires, the fights between players, the just essentially behavior that would have no place in a cricket field.
So funny enough, on the cricket field, I don't appreciate any of that. But in baseball, I completely enjoy it.
How? Why?
Why not?
What?
Like, I mean, I just told you the coach of
viral clip about a baseball manager who was suspended or who was thrown out of the game by the umpire, and he's walking over. He pulls first base out of the ground, and then he's on all fours and he's crawling to second base, and he picks up second base, pulls that out of the ground, and then starts walking like
that's
he's
a bit
holding it
extreme.
like a grenade, and everybody's cheering and going wild. I'm like, are you 6 years old? What are you doing?
That's a bit extreme, but again, I enjoy watching hockey as well, and those fights are on another level.
There's nothing about me that would make me watch more than 5 seconds of hockey.
You are joking.
For that reason.
That's blasphemous.
For that reason, I just wouldn't do it at all. Just the refs just stay back, and then you sit there and just wail on each other for 5 minutes.
So
What sport are we watching as I'm yelled at by Hassan?
Hockey is something that's so entertaining to watch because there's action all the time. That game goes from 0 to 100 as soon as they get on the ice.
There is a position in hockey actually known as enforcer, where your job is to come in and fight people.
Unlucky. Very good over, minus the 2 wides.
Ooh,
And
that's a Brian Walters special there.
you've got to see a bit of a better effort than that. I don't know why you would feel the need to not be able to bend down and grab the ball. But end of a good over. 13 overs gone.
I get flashbacks when I see that. That's exactly how it happened for me.
$13 overs gone, 87 for 8. I'm trying to think of other sports that are. I mean, track and field's great. Love watching anything in track and field. The most. I don't know how to explain this sport. Intense but different sport I've ever watched was hurling in Ireland.
Okay.
That was an interesting sport. It's a combination of 3 or 4 different sports that we're accustomed to, and just the intensity level is so infectious. Most runs in the tournament. I'll get back to that graphic in a little while.
What netball?
Same thing with basketball, a bit monotonous, but I find there's more skill required with that. Unmuk Chand leading from the top, 184 runs to him. He's had 2 good days now between yesterday and today. Smith Patel not too far behind with 148. I find netball still requires more skill than basketball because there is no backboard to that hoop. So you've got to be able to get it in swish, swish.
Have you ever played?
No, too short for it.
That's true.
Mind you, when you play every sport in school, but, just not one of those sports where I'm like, I'm going to play this.
Got it. In Canada, do men play netball?
No.
Okay. Same in
We do
Jamaica.
play a lot of lacrosse, though. Lacrosse is technically a national sport.
Is it?
Yep. Up in the air, and it does not have the distance for the 6, but it's going to run away for 4, I think. I'll wait on the umpire to make that decision. Difficult time to field, getting close to that twilight zone with the sun setting.
Let's take a look at this again. Great effort. And let's see. Oh, that ball may have just stopped before it got to the boundary. I think that's Arnav Jam out there. Good piece of work.
Just the one run, short wide, cut away, and a single to wrap up the 14th over. It's 92 for 8. Field hockey is another one that I don't mind, but I've never actually played field hockey. Not a very popular sport when you've got ice hockey as your main sport. But field hockey is starting to pick up a lot of momentum in Canada over the last few years. Partly because of the change in demographics as well. Did actually, someone I went to high school with, same year as me, she ended up playing for the Canadian field hockey team, she and her younger sister.
Now, we do play field hockey in Jamaica. Obviously, we don't play ice hockey.
No.
I know, shocking. But in Jamaican high school, we footballers had to share the field with the field hockey players. Most random sport that you have tried?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Most random sport that I've tried.
You can define random in any way that you'd like.
I don't think any sport I've tried is really random. Dance.
Dance.
Yeah. Definitely a sport. Pathetic at it.
See, first of all, I missed all of this in our discussions earlier because our dear Giovanna Aras was messaging us in that whole conversation. In the Women's Americas qualifiers in 21 and 22, US v Canada, the US girls appealed for obstruction of the field when the batter ran under a ball that could have been caught. It would take a Canadian, wouldn't it?
I believe that might have been the incident that I'm talking about, actually. I'm pretty sure that is the incident that I had brought up.
So here, Giovanna, the last response that you made is actually, it's doing too much because all it would require is just one short on one of the 5-run efforts. The other one could be a conventional 4. But I'm shocked that you're still up and listening. Should you be packed and going to sleep? You're leaving in the morning?
Do you know how important it is for athletes to get the right amount of sleep? Rehab. Sleep is so important. Sounds like I'm talking to my daughter.
It does, doesn't it?
Low full toss. We'll land in no man's land.
Giovanna's probably not much older than your daughter.
My daughter's 8.
Well, Giovanna cannot be more than 20 years old. Giovanna, how old are you?
I'm 36.
And your daughter, I said.
I'm 36.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing having a 20-year-old for a daughter.
Biologically, you know what? Let's move on back to cricket. Now, let's say this. Where this game is, relatively well poised in terms of being able to bat all the way through so that you don't get a big hit on net run rate. But I think it's clear that the St. Louis Americans are the ones who will take victory in this match. 66 needed in 31 balls, so you need more than 2 runs a ball the rest of the way.
Big swing, very full, and it'll just go over the fielder for 6 runs.
That's not a bad shot. Look how he sort of bends that back leg to create the leverage and to go over the top of long off. That is actually a very good stroke. Look at this. And he reaches for that from well outside the line of off stump. That's not a bad shot at all. Giovanna, you're 22. You made me drop my phone in surprise. Giovanna, I have 2 sons. You're older than my younger son, younger than my oldest son, for whatever that's worth.
And Giovanna, I still feel 22. Feel like I'm 22. So there. But go to sleep. You need your sleep. You're on tour. You're competing.
Oh, goodness. So down to the last 5 overs.
But you were asking me about the most random sport that I've played. What's the most random sport that you've played? And I'll talk to you about dance because I've got a bit of a hate relationship with it.
Well, as much as I've bagged on baseball this conversation, before I realized that cricket was played in the US, I actually used to also play baseball. I was playing catcher once with no gloves because there's no such thing as a left-handed catcher's glove. So I'm playing barehanded. Throw comes in from home plate, or toward home plate. That's a big hit. Where does that go? Oh, what a catch. Chloe shakes his head, or did he take that?
That's a catch, and it's a very good catch because he's taken it with the sun setting in front of him.
That is a really, really good catch. Okay, let's take a look at this replay again. Dancing down the track. You're exactly right. He would have been facing the sun under those circumstances. That is excellent. That is absolutely excellent. Very, very well done. That is Raghav Satish, who is not in the 11, but who's come on and taken a really nice catch. I'll finish the thought about the me playing catcher. Throw comes in. A catch turn to tag the runner who's sliding in. His finger or his cleat hooks my thumb, bends it backwards, snaps it almost clean off. That scar that you see right there is a surgery scar that I had in 1986.
That was before I was born.
Long before you were born, with that injury. And that might have been the last time I played baseball. Giovanna, enjoy sleeping on the plane. And by the way, that wasn't me who just hearted that comment. That was the young lady to my right, who is barely older than you are. So the last wicket in, 103 for 9.
So my thing with dance, and I don't know if it was always like this or the genres, but I find the way dance is becoming with young girls especially, it's just, sometimes I find it's just a bit too old or mature for what some of the younger girls should be doing.
Very interesting, okay.
And I know there's this one show here as well, isn't there? With this dance teacher, very popular apparently, on Netflix or something. And I look at the toxicity in that group between the parents and the coach, and I'm thinking, how could you potentially be okay with having your kids in that sort of atmosphere? So that's my issue with dance. Now, I mean, if it's not a toxic environment and if it's actually age appropriate, maybe.
Reason number 1,437 why I'm glad we have boys and not girls.
I mean, I have a girl.
I know. Clearly.
Very, very athletic child as well, but I put her in dance very briefly, but it was I don't even remember the form it was, but it was to help her gymnastics because of the ability to try and help her flexibility and her strength. So we did that for about 6 months, and then just not enough time to squeeze all of our other sports in. So we dropped dance. We continued with gymnastics, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's a balance that you've got to be able to find.
I used to bring a big broken down cardboard box into our living room and break dance when breakdancing was a thing long before you were born.
Why did you bring the cardboard box for that though?
You can't do like backspins on carpet. You can't spin on carpet.
Okay, got it.
So you move the coffee table, you move all the TV, move all that stuff out of the way, spread out the cardboard box, and then spin to your heart's content while you listen to Run DMC or LL Cool J or whoever it was that we're listening to at the time.
So what did you think about the Aussie breakdancer at the Olympics?
I think it's a freaking joke that became an Olympic sport.
What about her performance though?
She looked like she was... Let me stop. I wasn't a fan. I'll leave it at that.
I am surprised it is in the Olympics, I will say. It took cricket longer to get in the Olympics than breakdancing.
Breakdancing. Yeah, that's a sore subject for me as well. Ooh, good length.
Really surprised that Joshua Kind is just getting his second over now, because his first over, 6 for 2. And that 6 was very nearly 2 for 2 if it wasn't for the boundary.
Take a look at this. Look at him running in, and oops. You kind of need the ball to be able to bowl, Josh, so that's why you that's one of the requirements, I would think. In the air. Ooh, it was almost the end of the game. Rice smile there by the fielder coming in from backward point. That is Raghav Satish. He took a really difficult catch a few minutes ago, but spills this one.
Losing all shape. Looking to go leg side, thick outside edge. Good effort. But I should have taken it.
I would agree completely with that.
Slapped in the gap and for a single.
Well, again, the chance here, if you are the Seattle Thunderbolts, is to bat through the innings. You bat all the way through the innings, even though you will have lost, you still put yourself in a position where you don't get hammered on the net run rate calculation. So your motivation is to bat all the way through. Josh Kind, no wides yet in this over. Had a few in his first over. And anytime you're bowling at the death, you give up 3 singles and 3 balls, your captain will accept that every time. Great Yorker. Get another single here, but see what Josh Kind is doing. Full and straight, end of the innings. That's exactly what you want to be doing. Oh, goodness.
Slower delivery. And through the shot very early. Got nowhere near that ball.
It's the first dot ball of the over. So the last ball coming up here.
Nearly bowled him out had that catch been taken.
Yep. So in theory, 18 more balls remaining. Any one of which will have ended this match. A single down the ground. We continue with the Seattle Thunderbolts attempting in some ways to drag this game all the way into over number 20. End of 17, 1-1-3 for 9. So that's the best bowlers in the tournament. Mohammad Mohsin, top of the heap. 7 wickets. Harmeet Singh, 6. So the top 2 are from the team you saw earlier today, the Clarion Eagles. Ritvik Apedi, young man, 5 wickets taken. Ali Sheikh, we just talked about him. And to his father, 5 wickets as well. Aaron Knight Carney took 3 of those 5 wickets today. Amshad De Silva, we talked about yesterday. And the man from this morning, Amir Hamza Hotak, 5. A bunch of these bowlers with 5 wickets each. And then let's take a look at the points table. The Prime Raider Gladiators are actually at the top of the table in Group A. Atlanta Fire, Baltimore Royals, 2nd and 3rd. Not surprising that the Clarion Eagles in Group B are the class of that group. 3 wins and no losses. And as we get towards the back end of this tournament, maybe we'll put that last graphic back up, because looking at the the net run rate calculations. Clarion Eagles, 3 wins, no losses, and then certainly on top with the net run rate calculations. So they will be very, very difficult to overhaul. And so we'll be paying attention to that as we get through the rest of the tournament. But my goodness, they will be a very tough team to beat, Clarion Eagles. Even though they didn't exactly dominate the game that you thought that they would have today against the youngsters, the future Caps. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you will have won, and they did that eventually. Manala Patel, I asked you this question, and I don't know that you gave me a straight answer. Who do you think is the class of this tournament? And you've seen a lot of the teams now, have you not?
On paper, Clarion Eagles, definitely a very, very strong team. But I think it's early days to say. We still have a lot more cricket to come. And there are some really talented players. That bowling action.
So umpire Owen Brown is not happy with him running down the track.
Well, he just finishes in that danger zone, doesn't he?
We can have a chance to go back and look at that one more time, but you want to run off of the track. In other words, after you plant, your job is to run away from the track and not step into the danger area. Just looking at that replay, look at this again. That step right there is 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in the danger area. So no wonder umpire Owen Brown is not happy with that. In the air, down to deep third for a single. So one of the disadvantages, Manali, of playing on artificial surfaces is that you don't have to maintain the discipline of running off of the pitch. You're playing on concrete, you can run all the way down the center of the pitch if you'd like. Umpires don't say anything because it doesn't deface the pitch in any way. But on a proper turf wicket, you absolutely cannot run down the middle of the pitch in the way that Yuvan has just done, which is why he's been hauled up by umpire Owen Brown. Even there, he's standing in the middle of the pitch again, and Owen Brown is again warning him, and that looks like an official warning. Cannot do that. And that to me is a result of not having played on natural surfaces very often. You have the spikes in, and those spikes will deface the clay. Makes it obviously very difficult for the batting side, and the umpire will stop you from bowling if you're not able to prevent yourself from running in that danger area. So let's see if he does it again here. That's a lot better, running off to the side. And umpire Owen Brown gives him his glasses, says, thank you very much for not running down the middle of the pitch again. Look at this replay. Look at the number of steps that he takes in the danger area. Plants here. That one is probably okay, but that's not. So at least 2 or 3 steps that are in the danger area that he will need to be able to correct. And again, you do that after one official warning. The umpires will prevent you from bowling in the game. Maybe just take one more look at this. Not to keep drilling this home, but for the young kids, that step is illegal, that step is illegal. So at least 2 steps in the danger area. And once again, you step in that area, you will be hauled up by the umpire for it. So good umpiring, and among the other things that you're looking for as an umpire is that one issue that you have to be completely cognizant of. 115 for 9, a maximum of 12 balls remaining in this match. And they essentially are trying to drag this game all the way through to the end. Ryan Taj continuing his spell. 3 overs, none for 24. Whoa, a little bit of turn there. So anytime you can have a spell where you bowl and concede less than 4 runs or less than 6 runs and over, You know that you're doing very well. In fact, in this instance, Ryan Taj going just for a little under 8 runs and over, but a couple of those overs are in the power play. Bowled overs number 2 and 4. So that is the control that he has to be able to deliver in those instances. Should be 1 here. So Seattle will end up losing this game. 9 balls remaining for what it's worth, and there's still 46 runs adrift. This served into the outfield for a split second. I thought it would have been in an area where it could have been caught, but well clear of the fielder in the covers. That is Ivan Vinod. That man in the white shirt, second from the left, is Ajay Jam. As this is stroked down the ground, landing short. Ajay Jam is the father of both Adnit and Arnav Jam. Proud father, one of the best servants of USA cricket. That man right there in the white shirt, second from the left, as I mentioned. And he is about one of the best servants that you can find for cricket in this country, and one of the most selfless people that you can expect to find as well. So if you're around here, feel free to go shake his hand and say thank you for all that you've done for USA cricket over the years. Tremendous work. 43 needed from the last over. Just give me, just yeah. In fact, let's see. The scoreboard, I think, had it wrong because Ryan Taj is finished on the scoreboard, but he's still bowling one more ball here. Ooh, slashed away off the outside edge, running away down the hill. Probably just for 1, though. So that does, in fact, look like the end of the over. End of over number 19. We are down to the last 6 balls. Scorecard is rapidly trying to keep up with the action from what we can see. Bottom right of your screen. And in fact, it is now 120 is your score. And if there is a way of being able to score 42 runs in the next 6 balls, they'll absolutely try to do that. Last over. Dragged into the leg side. Catch taken, game over. The Seattle Thunderbolts are bowled out for 120. And the St. Louis Americans win by the margin of 41 runs. Take a look at this again.
Cross the line, looking to get it over the fielder, finds the fielder instead, and it is the final wicket to fall. I've really had to wait for this final wicket. The St. Louis Americans bowled out are the Seattle Thunderbolts for, well, a long way away from that margin. St. Louis Americans win this by a massive margin, and that batting card is a sorry state of affairs. Rishi Ramesh, the only one getting to a respectable 34 off 29. And not much else could be said about the other batters. And a late push, Mayura Lakshmikant, 21 off 22, but a little too late for that effort. Bowled out for 120. Bowling, on the other hand, has been tight and effective. They've picked up wickets at regular intervals, 2 wickets to Ilyas and Kakani, as well as Joshua Kime, 3 wickets to Arnav Jam, probably the pick of the bowlers. And Sujik Nayak chips in with a wicket as well. In the end, a very clinical performance today by the St. Louis Americans, having won the toss, choosing to bat first and putting on a decent total, and then coming back and defending it in style. The wickets came from the very first delivery. Shreyas, the first one to fall, thanks to a fairly easy catch behind the stumps for Joshua Trump. Rahul Jariwala was the next to go, bowled by Mohammad Ilyas. Chaitanya Bishnoi out there for a little while. He was the hope for his side, along with Sashwath Kohli, until Chaitanya Bishnoi was next to go. He fell for just 11 off 6 deliveries. Harish Kakani getting that breakthrough in, and not too long after that, Sashwath Kohli goes for a duck, losing 2 wickets without a run being scored at 23 for 3 and 23 for 4. Aditya Ganesh falls to Yuvraj Vinod, and Rishi Ramesh, who had come in as the impact player, tried to be as aggressive as he could given the situation, had a bit of help as well at the other end, getting to 34 off 29 before he too walked back. LBW, a really well judged call by the umpire on that occasion. Soeb Faye next to go, 17 from him today. Joshua Kine getting that breakthrough, and then shortly after in the same over, picking up the wicket of Ayan Desai. And last but not least, despite the effort at the end, Rohan Posapalli next to go. Arnav Jam getting the final wicket. And that is the situation that summarizes the game today. 161 runs on the board in the first innings, and rounded off for 120 in reply. Seattle Thunderbolts bowled out with 5 deliveries to spare. St. Louis Americans have won this contest by a massive margin of 41 runs. That's going to conclude all the action at the Houston Open 2026 for now. We will see you bright and early tomorrow for game day number 3. Have a good night.